taking Cookie tomorrow night. So I might actually sleep tonight.
Yay!
I might. I'll probably be surprised this week.
Also, hi, Pam.
Hello.
Hey, Pam.
Sorry.
Hi, Pam.
Hello. Sorry I was late. Like I checked the Discord and I guess I just saw the last message on there and I was like, oh, I guess we haven't gotten anything yet. And I was like, it's taking a minute. And I looked up, I was like, Google Hangouts link. Oops. Sorry, man.
You know, it was kind of nice to not be the last one in for the first time.
Yeah, this was completely altruistic for you, Jade.
Yeah,
100%.
I appreciate that. I felt pretty
my pleasure.
together.
Good.
I feel like for you to be late, it had to have been on purpose because you're on purpose always
Yes,
anyway.
Yes. Uh-huh. That's 100% me. Uh-huh.
By the way, nice outfit, Pam. You looking snazzy tonight.
Thank you. This shirt's just incredibly comfy,
It looks
and I am wearing sweatpants,
Look
so
at
you just
you.
can't see those.
Hell yes.
I'm in pajama pants.
I'm just wearing my little black dress, which is what I usually wear.
Oh, and is that? Did you dye your hair green?
Yeah, it's aquamarine, kind of.
Dude, sick.
Yeah, man.
That's cool.
Super
So hardcore.
I love it. I'm probably either gonna dye it again like this, or I have purple or pink in reserve. So it's all up in the air. We'll see what happens.
Oh, purple and pink would be cool.
Mhm.
You should do purple pink
Alright.
peekaboo.
Oh, that'd be fun. That would be really fun.
Okay, are we all ready?
Always.
Ready as I'll ever be.
All right, who would like to give a recap of last session?
So I can. I'm not super with it, but you can hear my drunken stumbles.
Those are fun.
There's a recap of last session.
You're already in character, huh?
Bill was drunk.
Was she not?
Yep.
We went to the Broken Crate and met a very nice drow who was selling some not so very nice items. But they were good. They were good enough. They're good enough. She's gonna get me a poison hookup, so we're cool. We're cool.
We're chill.
And then our bard, Akima, kicked some dudes in the balls like a lady,
Yes.
and she got kidnapped.
Yes.
And we went to go, then we found out that there was some weird, nefarious things happening around town. And we decided to go to the Crab Warren, where we found ourselves in the Thieves Guild.
Yay!
You guys got to meet more people like Nil. Lucky you. And Nil mouthed off to the Grey
Oh
Dragon.
my god.
Demanded more and more money and alcohol.
Oh, God.
And
We tried coffee.
Yeah,
And we got coffee. We got some very fancy coffee from a little goblin dude.
He was a
And they
gnome.
finally-
It was a gnome, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
The gnome
Sorry.
amazing machine that
I'm sorry to insult the gnome coffee maker.
brew.
And then we met a really cool guy named Fizzle, who was in charge of, like,
Fizzle,
Thieves Guild Fight Club.
I'm
And I
sure
just, like,
to the new
Fizzle.
blood gets through the trials, okay?
Fizzle just needs to be mentioned because he's hardcore and his name is Fizzle. and then we met another dwarf,
Yes.
and she and Falcon had different approaches to weapon craftsmanship.
Mm-hmm.
And we got all of us but Falcon, who already had peak weaponry, got some pretty cool weapons.
Mm-hmm.
And we decided to help Lady Grey Dragon stick up her ass with her little mission to do some research in the town and try to find out what we're trying to find out. It's in here. Give me a second.
Mm-hmm.
If the world stops spinning for just a second. Okay, here are the notes.
How's your constitution?
Yeah, you got it right there.
We need to get the ship's charter, the charter for the ship called the Emerald Nightengale. And we told Lady Stickabrack all about the Raven Queen's armor, and she was super into that information. So we decided to help each other. She's super into Corva shit. She's probably just a fangirl. And that's where we left last time, getting weapons.
All right. Okay. Well, to start, after you've got your weapon, Mark comes to collect you. And with great apologies, he escorts you out because you now have a task to complete, and pretty much you've seen Fizzle, and you got work to do. So it is currently midday when you finally exit, or at least it's starting to become early afternoon. The sun is high in the sky, and of course, nobody really notices strangers coming out of the random tunnel and the crab warrens. So, where would you like to go?
We're looking to... You said our goal was to get the armor, correct? Because she had initially wanted information about it and then decided she wanted us to go get it. Was that...
I think...
Am I remembering?
Well, no, he's going to help you break into the mansion that has the armor, but first you have to do a task for her,
Yeah, so...
You scratched mine.
Right now we need the charter of the ship, so we need to know when it will arrive, what pier it'll be docking at, and we just knew the name of where it is, or what it is, what the name of it is.
Okay.
Which is the Emerald Nightengale.
So we need to steal, like, a book from the harbor master
Basically,
with the details.
Yeah.
Or we could even just write down the information for that particular ship. We don't have to take the whole fucking book.
True.
Yeah. But that's not as fun as stealing things.
Yes, no, we know.
Falkrin would beg to differ.
Rashida is indifferent.
People around here wanting to go about stealing things that aren't theirs. Oh.
Well, technically, we're stealing information that isn't ours.
We're not necessarily putting somebody in a tough place by finding out knowledge.
Depends on what knowledge it will bring afterwards, but we're not here to question things, we're just here to do the job.
I don't think I like that kind of mindset.
Oh, no. I'll be right back.
Well, what about it do you not like?
What? We should be welcome to question things.
Not if it's if you want to get paid.
Do we?
Yes.
At what cost?
Information. Way to get the armor. Favor for a favor.
I don't.
Milk her drink and pats Falcon on the back and says, I've told you time and time again, if she really loved the things, they wouldn't lose them in the first place. So it's not really stealing, is it?
But
Not really taking anything. I am freeing them of their materialist bonds. And clearly, they never really cared about the things because they wouldn't have lost them in the first place. To me, if they really cared about them. Same thing with the lies. If they really wanted to live, they wouldn't have let me kill them. So now let's go get information.
What? I just don't understand. Is there some benefit to humanity if we find out this information?
Well, consider
there-
that there is a relation to the cult of Korva, I would say that is a yes.
Okay, I can work with that. We're trying to protect people from the cult of Korva.
Yes. Which,
Okay.
can I roll a religion? Because I
Sure.
only know that information because I overheard them speaking.
Sure.
Nil kind of just like points a dagger at Rashida and like has a hand on her hip and talks to her. You've got lots of pamphlets. Do you know anything about this Corva crap?
Give me one moment. And she sort of starts to dig into her bag. I rolled... That's what is my perception? Which is a 3, so that's a 15.
A 15.
Yes.
And what were you trying to discern again?
That is a perception. I am sorry. That is incorrect. That's incorrect. I need knowledge religion. Okay, here we go. That's 14 plus 3, so fuck math. 14, 15,
I agree.
So it's a 17 for knowledge religion, and it's just to kind of get a general gist of the cult of Corva. Are they evil? Things like that.
Okay. Actually, this would have been history, but I'll give it to you regardless.
Okay.
So what you remember in your time in Ravia is that 200 years ago, there was a dragon-born sorcerer known as Corva. And the only reason why she came to prominence was the fact that she had discovered what was known as the prophecy of dragons. And in her mind, what she needed to do was essentially fulfill the prophecy and bring dragons back into the world, because as a result of the fighting between the elves and the dragons many millennia ago, the world had been thrown into imbalance. Humans, dwarves, tieflings, gnomes, other races that had once been enslaved by the elves and at the mercy of the dragons were now the dominant races, so to speak. And in her mind, balance needed to be reobtained so they could stop the endless cycle of war, peace, intrigue, war, peace, intrigue, so to speak.
Okay. So.
Go ahead.
No. You go ahead. I don't want to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
And from what else you remember is that up until the ethereal ones had become involved, Corva had established a cult following that pretty much had hands, eyes everywhere, from the lowest of the ditch dwellers to high up in the royal courts. And it wasn't until, and then when the ethereal ones essentially killed her, so to speak, as the legends go, they were pretty much set to fulfilling the prophecy. And then the ethereal ones were successful in stopping her and pretty much prevented, calamity from happening.
Got it. Okay.
But they never really determined if the cult was gone for good. So what survivors were left pretty much went into hiding.
Okay, so right now, and all that in mind, the cult of Corva hasn't really been on people's lips for a while.
Correct, yes.
Got it. Okay. So Rashida doesn't find a pamphlet for the cult of Corva. But she does relay the information to the both of you saying, well, centuries ago, there was a dragonborn who sought to renew a prophecy and fulfill said prophecy about the dragons. And essentially, from what I remember, to them, our races, dwarves, gnomes, humans, the like, they're supposed to be slaves to dragonkind. And that is their main scope of what their goal is. And Corva was a sorceress who started this cult before the ethereal ones took her down. And actually, the fact that it's even been mentioned at all is kind of surprising.
There's just a bunch of people who are really into dragons.
They feel that they are the ones that belong in the balance. They're the ones that keep the world whole. And right now, it's unbalanced.
Everybody in the fucking balance and the wholeness. Alright, well, do you know of anybody in the cult? Or who fought against her?
Would Rashida know any information about that?
Not really.
Okay, she shakes her head and goes, no, I'm not really involved as much, so I would not say. I just know this from tales, especially ones from, my father.
Bill just shakes her head at you and she's like, what's the point of being fucking religious fanatics if you guys don't have information when I need it? And she starts off down the road.
Pardon me, it is this cult has been dead for a while.
Mill does not respond. She takes a swig of alcohol and walks back towards the dock.
All right. And then as you do this, Akima looks around, sees that there's a signpost with like maps, and she just pulls out a piece of paper and starts drawing up a map of where you guys need to go.
That's handy.
Falkrin just sighs and kind of is in agreement of whatever.
I feel like that is Falkrin's mode at this point. She's just, whatever, so long as we don't kill or steal from anyone. Oh wait, we're already doing that.
I know, she's circling. Her brain is just like, I don't know about this cult. I don't see how it's an issue, but also I feel like I'm supposed to be here, so I don't know what to do. I'm just going to do what I do when I do it.
She's like,
Falkrin is not on purpose always.
Right now, and I love it. Falkrin's just like, why am I here?
She's like, I'm on purpose sometimes.
No.
I should just get you a shirt that
All
says
right,
I'm here.
Where are you all headed to?
Oh god.
Where did we come out?
Oh,
We
So
came
you
out of like the back end of the Crab Warren area.
Yeah, you're now back on the docks.
okay. Are these the docks that ship's going to be landing in?
Yes, these are the same docks, essentially.
Okay. Is there like a company of some form that's on said docks that might be related to shipments and exports or imports?
Roll me a perception check.
Okay. Ooh. That is 17.
17. Okay. As you scan the piers, nothing comes to mind, but you do see off in the distance a very large, very long warehouse-like looking building. It has atop the roof a rearing bull of sorts, and at the back of the roof there is a fish. You know, basically a fish when it, gets caught out of water and just flops around. It's basically in mid-flop.
Okay. Oh, cute.
Yep. But basically you see that building and it's attached to the docks.
Rashida sort of points in that direction and goes, we could try there.
Falkrin nods, and she looks at them and says, "Now, do you think if this is on their books, why can't we just request it? I'm sure there's paperwork. Back where I come from, there's paperwork for everything. I'm a bit of a bureaucratic expert, if you know what I mean."
I feel like we would need a reason, though, like official reason. I mean, I could talk to them, but I don't know. I feel like that would be like official business.
People aren't usually willing to give up information about a ship carrying slightly nefarious things
It
on
might
board.
not even be on their charter. They could have a separate charter for nefarious things.
Kima simply shrugs her shoulders and says, well, it couldn't hurt to take a look,
Mm-hmm.
Do we see like where the ship's like charter area would be?
I mean, for right now, based off of what you're seeing, it looks like that building
That
is in
warehouse,
place.
the flopping fish.
Yeah.
I say we go to the floppy fish building.
All right, floppy fish it is.
All right. All right, your party makes their way through the docks to this large building, and as you approach, you notice that the way the building is oriented, part of it juts out over the water, the rest is at the street level, and there's no side entrance, so you have to go all the way up to the street level and then cross around to the front. And as you approach the front, you see that in gold lettering on a dark mahogany-stained background, the words Fleet Drafting House, and you see a multitude of people exiting and entering. Crates are stacked up at the entrance, and from what you can see inside, it looks like it's just packed to the brim with people. But there is another thing sitting out front that catches your eye. Somebody give me a perception check, please.
Oh, I got a nat 20. 20.
All right.
Heck
Okay.
yeah.
Perfect. So what you see is a cart, a horse-drawn cart. But that's not the curious thing. The curious thing is you see a very short, childlike-looking tiefling girl who is, busy, checking over boxes and crates and barrels, right next to the cart. But the other thing that sticks out is a very large chrome, brass, and wooden warforge with a maul strapped to its back. And the warforge apparently seems to be loading things into the cart's back as the tiefling, checks things off of the clipboard that she has. Basically, she's just doing inventory, in a sense.
Do I see, what it is they're loading? Do I get a hint with a...
Not a whole lot.
Sacks or crates?
Not a whole lot, but for some you do see perishables. Others are just dry grain. This is a very substantial looking cart, by the way. This isn't like a 4-person cart. This thing is meant to transport goods. A couple barrels you see have the words ale stamped on it, that sort of thing.
Are we close enough to see what's on the clipboard by any chance?
Not really, not from this distance.
Okay.
Is there an area near them where there's maybe crates or something where I could sneak up behind and kind of listen?
You can if you like. Yes, there's plenty of crates because they're still right next to the entrance, but they're off to the side where you see there's a covered not bazaar, but covered arcade, so to speak, where crates and other things are just resting in the shade. So you could definitely make your way over there and find his hiding spot.
Okay. Neil's going to take out, from my forgery kit, I'm going to take out a piece of paper and scribble a couple things on it, like ale, seed,
Gotcha.
and just goods. So if anybody asks me what I'm doing, I can be like, this is my little list.
Mm-hmm.
And pretend, so I'm going to kind of take her little fake list out, scribble on it, and go stand near there, kind of concealed, trying to hide, and see if she can listen to anything, pick anything up.
I will need a stealth check.
Yes. Where did my guy go? Where's the good one? Oh, there. So I have 15.
15. That's caught. Okay, perfect. All right. You've managed to slip in, and you actually look like, another person just checking boxes and stuff and doing inventory, so they do not see you. Now, give me a perception check.
All right.
Okay, what languages can you speak?
Languages: Common, Elvish, and Thieves can't.
You cannot understand a single word they're saying, unfortunately.
Can I discern what language it is?
It sounds dwarvish.
Yeah,
Okay, so Nil's going to do the motion for poor Falcon.
Oh, no.
Very slyly. And actually, you know what? I'm gonna go over to Falcon because, if you guys are a little further away, and just in case anybody's looking, say, "Oh, can you come help me find a few things from my list here? I need some assistance," and help her sneak back over there.
Someone give me a perception check.
Oh, boy.
Oh, no.
17, 18, 19, 20, 21.
21. Okay. You see that Akima has broken up from the party and more or less has taken up a spot in the general clearing of the area, like in the center of the street. She has turned over her hat and is currently resting on the ground in front of her, and she has pulled out a flute and has started playing. At first, it kind of sucks. It sounds like, she hasn't... This is her first time playing it. She did terrible on her roll, by the way. But it's not going well. A couple people are passing her by and just going, "Oh, God, what is this, man?" So she sighs, puts away the flute, and then reaches into her backpack and pulls out a very large-looking sack with pipes coming out.
Oh, my God.
Oh my god!
Yes!
Excellent.
Oh, this makes me
And as this happens, you hear the melodic sound of bagpipes going. It's the
No one
volume.
ever.
What?
Da, 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 da.
Let me find a good bagpipe tune. I'm going to put it into Discord.
Yes. Oh, dang it. I'll be right back. I have to use the restroom.
Okay.
Okay.
Fine. I unironically listen to too many bands that play bagpipes. Yeah.
Summer's here.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
And so is Biscuit. Although you can't really see Biscuit.
Oh, I see Biscuit waving.
Yeah. This is cute. Oh, are you leaving, Kitty? Yeah. Okay, thank you. Thank you, other kitty. I think she'll stay. Summer plays a druid now in D&D.
Nice.
She has a horse animal companion because she was raised by horses.
Oh, I like that. Oh, I'm getting an ad in front of my music.
Name, get yourself an ad blocker.
Dang, this girl was out here rocking out on that bagpipe.
I like the boots on one of them.
Oh, they got them all over too, huh?
Mm-hmm.
This is a song they Irish step dance to every time I took Summer to Irish step dancing.
Shipping up to Boston.
That's funny. Since the first line of it is like, I'm a sailor peg and I lost my leg. Like, that's the best thing to do.
I love the image of a Akiva just rocking out.
We just break out some bagpipes real quick. Like,
After kicking
she's a
bunch
bard.
of balls.
Why
I
not?
love it.
why not? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
The people staring at the girl like walking through the market in India.
I love that part. They're just like giving her
Incredible.
weird looks.
Oh my goodness. They're like, what are you doing? And then, of course, like in San Francisco or wherever she is, everyone's like, this is a wonderful time. There's this band called the Peat Bog Fairies, and they do like, it's almost like if you were to take bagpipe music and mix it with like, is EDM the right one? It's techno bagpipe music essentially.
No bagpipe.
Yeah, and my dad listened to them, and the older I get, the more and more I'm like, I just inherited all of my dad's music taste.
Well, that's okay. I suddenly found myself with an affinity for Westerns because my dad loves Westerns because that was one of the main forms of entertainment that he had growing up at Trinidad was Westerns every weekend. Yes.
Nice. Very nice. Classic spaghetti Western.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. And I'm not just talking spaghetti Westerns. I'm talking like 1950s-esque Westerns. So like Gunsmoke, Gene Autry, all of that.
Okay.
Dead or
That's how I
Alive.
got into Star Trek, is because that's what my dad watched growing up, and then that's all
what
we
my
owned.
mother watched growing up. Star Trek. So I got into it.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
We're just discussing Westerns and bagpipes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Eso.
I would be down for a Western with bagpipes.
Same.
I'd be very, this is starting to sound like Blazing Saddles or something.
Oh my god, that reminds me. Okay, Pam, do you remember Dennis and how we always used to say, like, we could that darn cat him and, like, follow him around like a cat? He came in today and told me about a bad cat movie, and it took me a second. I was like, do you mean that darn cat? And thankfully, no, he didn't, but it was very close. It was about something called a talking cat with a question mark, and I was like, if only you knew. Pam and I used to discuss you in the context of cat.
He's, as far as I'm concerned, good old Denny is a cryptid, and I would love to know what he does
in his free time, right?
Just in the most innocent of ways. I simply want to know factually, what are you doing?
It's not like anything other than just I innocently need to know what is your outside life.
Right. As long as you're not committing crimes, like, I don't care what it is.
I mean,
but also, are you?
I might be able to get you all the deets.
Just kidding. What's that?
I might be able to get you all the deets because he wanted to talk to me this Monday in regards to possibly working with him.
Interesting.
Yes. Tina. PR, that's on chat.
Sometimes greatness is thrust upon us. And, this is an opportunity.
I feel like if instead of thrusting, it would be like a gentle thrust.
Yeah, it's more of a lobbing a softball at you. Like, there you go. You can look into this if you want.
Why do I immediately consider and think about this? Let me see if I can fucking find it again, because holy shit. Yep, there it is. Found it. I found this, and if you watch very closely, a literal human is thrust across the room.
Are we all ready?
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So Akima manages to strike up a star performance on her bagpipes, and everyone starts flipping her gold pieces, getting around and clapping and joining in. Basically, she's causing a distraction.
Nice.
Nice, Akima.
Yes. All right. So, Falcon, have you made it to where Nil is standing?
If I understand correctly, Nil chose not to motion for me.
I grabbed you and said, hey, can you come over here? And, motioned for you to follow me.
Hi, Biscuit.
Nil, in no effort to be stealthy, just kind of, okay.
Waddles over.
Nil kind of, tries to motion and be like, shh.
As far as Falkren's concerned, she's not doing anything wrong, so nothing about her is giving off, oh, I shouldn't be here. If anything, she's guilty about her own inward sins.
You are with the wrong party.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the party you need.
So I take it you're going to want to listen in on the conversation?
Yes, I'm going to whisper to Falcon, tell me what they're saying.
Okay. And she looks at you and goes, maybe.
Okay.
But she listens.
Okay, I'm going to need a perception check from you.
All right, dice, do right by me. Okay, perception is based off of, why is this one like this?
Why are you like this?
My modifier for perception is wisdom.
Should be yes.
Okay, then
yes.
dirty 20.
Nice.
All right. Okay. So here's the following conversation you hear between the tiefling girl and the warforged. Oh my god, warforged. I don't know about you, but I really think we should get out of town a lot sooner than how long Bethany wants to stand here. I understand, but she has plans in town first. Yeah, I get that, but we really need to get out of here. It's kind of strange here. There's guards all over the place and everything. Do not worry about the guards. Focus on the inventory. Bethany gets mad when you do not. Oh, all right, fine, click clack. If you're gonna be, all like that, all stiff and and unflexible. I am made of metal and wood, very unflexible materials. Oh, okay, fine. I guess I can't tell a joke to you either. Ugh.
It sounds like Falcon's best friend.
It does.
Falcon's just like, I don't know why we would need to know what they're saying.
You always need to know what anybody's saying.
They just said that they want to get out of here because there are so many guards about and that they should care about their inventory, and there's some person named Bethany.
Can I roll to see if that name might mean anything to me?
Does the name mean anything to me?
You know what? All of you can go ahead and make a history.
Ooh. I do well with history.
I got a name.
I missed that. I got a
At
12.
least I think I do all of this for you.
I don't know any Bethany's.
I have 15. I got 15.
15. And oh wait, she's not even part of this conversation. Okay.
Nope.
Rashida. Rashida, what you remember is Bethany is actually a traveling merchant. Goes by the name of Bethany Longaxe, and she makes a circuit pretty much around the human alliance, basically visiting all the kingdoms and such, trading wares, that sort of thing.
Okay.
So she's not exactly the premier merchant, so to speak, but her name is known enough in some circles that if she's in town, you'd best check by her cart to see what she's brought with her.
Okay, cool. She's got some good shit.
Falcon looks at Nil and goes, do I have to keep listening to what they're talking about?
It sounds like they've travelled a lot. They might be talking about something slightly important. Listen for like 2 more minutes,
Fine.
and then we'll find somebody else.
And
Falcon
as this
turns to ear.
happens, you hear a very far off distant roar. It does sound like a lion. It does not sound like a bear at all. In fact, everyone immediately stops and starts looking up to the sky in sudden shock. In fact, the Kima even stops playing her bagpipes, starts looking up.
Oh, no.
And as you watch, people point. A couple shield their eyes from the sun. Others start to have looks of terror.
Oh, no.
Ooh.
As you guys look up, you see far off in the distance a winged shape. Someone give me a perception.
Of course.
I got a 6.
Oof.
I only got a 12.
I got a 14.
Okay.
All of my luck is in Kahame.
This is true.
Yeah. Okay, and Nakima sees
All of my
nothing.
luck is non-existent.
Sun is in her eyes. Okay, Rashida, what you see
I know all
from what
things.
you remember of the tales of old is a red dragon. This one is large, and from what you can pick out, he seems adult in age. Like, this isn't an ancient one by any means, nor is it a young one. This is a full-grown adult red dragon. He doesn't seem to be angling for the city at all. He just seems to be making, fly-by pass. And sure enough, he angles. He turns, but he doesn't really dive. He just flies over the city and emits another roar, and a couple people, give mild cries of terror, and some shriek and run for cover, but the dragon never descends. And sure enough, after 10 minutes of this entire spectacle, the dragon flies off past the mountains and is never seen for the rest of the time that you're there.
So, refraining from pissing her pants.
Okay.
What does she have to roll for that?
Actually, you know what? Yes, I'm gonna roll for
New
that.
pants.
I rolled an 18.
She does not
I'm
piss
not
her
adding
pants.
to that, by the
Oh,
way.
thank goodness.
Yeah.
I would like to roll to not piss myself.
All right, if you want to, go ahead. This is a dragon.
Falcon didn't see anything. She's
And the rest
fine.
of y'all didn't fucking see anything. Rashida's the only one that gets information around here.
Falcon is in an emotional state.
No one's here to drink and kill things. I am not here for information.
Apparently
Yeah.
Rashida is.
Trying
Rashida's
to
just your
figure out.
intel, apparently.
Anyway, as the dragon disappears past the tops of the Karima Mountains, everyone starts to shake off the effect of the dragon being seen and, start going about their business. Although where it was once lively and bustling, now there's a hush about everyone. Like they're still talking, they're still animated, but now it's in whispers compared to, full-on conversations at full volume.
Oh, great.
Okay,
That's
so
going to be harder.
from what
Yeah,
you
the
told
tiefling
me,
girl comes out from underneath the cart because she had dove under it the second that she heard the roar. And she retrieves the clipboard, dusts herself off, and looks up and goes, "Oh, hi there! What you two doing there?" And she's pointing directly at Nil and
God.
Falcon.
Falcon looks at her and says, "We were just looking for a place to buy things, but it seems there are too many options."
Oh, yeah, there's plenty of options in this part of the city, but your best bets are to head towards the Gilded Quarter. There's a lot more, top gear over there, but it's a little more on the expensive side. considering that, a lot of more rich folk live over there. But, sometimes if you just want to, slum it for a bit, the Shattered Oar's got a real great place to, get a drink and get a room. And then there's the Dragon Horde owned by Callisto. She's a fair enough, wait, no, not the Dragon. Oh, hang on. I'm sorry. I mixed them up again. I always do that when I come here since there's so many options. I meant the Broken Crate. That one's owned by Callisto. The Dragon's Horde is the one that's, you're going to find that over in the Gilded Quarter. It's a bit more on the expensive side, but there's plenty of choice gear to choose from.
You said the Dragon's what?
The Dragon's Horde.
Dragon's Horde.
I'm sorry if my accent makes it sound a little strange. Yeah, I know. I get that a lot. I do apologize.
Oh, that's fine. Now, do you work here, or is...
Do I work here? Oh, goodness, no.
Oh, no. Oh, you're a visitor.
No, we're just visiting.
Okay. Yeah, we're just looking. Thank you for the information. If I may, your friend here, he appears to be made out of metal.
Oh, Click Clack here. She gives Click Clack a smack on the... Yes,
I love that.
a smack on the leg, and she's like, yeah, this is a Warforged. Bethany managed to purchase him from a merchant in Ravia. Apparently, he found him out in the middle of the desert of abandonment or something. All broke up and in pieces. Well, Bethany purchased him.
Does it strike as, like... is it anything familiar to Nil?
Go ahead and give me a history check.
I would also like to roll to know if Falcor knows about these.
Sure.
So, dirty 20.
Dirty 20, okay.
And then I got a 17.
17, okay. You both know that Warforged are not common to Angamar. Warforged are actually from the north in Karnas, which is another nation state unto itself. But they're more technologically advanced, so to speak. That's basically, the way I can put it is, there's a lot of artificers that live there. A lot of tinkerers, a lot of engineers and machinists that focus on blending the arcane with the mechanical.
These are like the Fire Nation of the world.
I wouldn't say the Fire Nation. That's but
like
yeah.
Machines and...
Oh, yeah. I guess that's an easier way of thinking. Yeah, it's the Fire Nation of the world, so to speak. They just don't attack.
They're peaceful.
Yeah.
They're tinkerers.
They have tamed their fire.
Machines.
Pretty much.
Interesting. Okay.
But the girl continues on, like, yeah. Bethany picked him up in Ravia, and then for a while he was just a pile of junk until she found an engineer over in Everwood who put him back together and got him running again. He's pretty much served as a bodyguard since.
Nil just stares at him. Well, so it sounds like you travel quite a bit.
Oh, yeah, no, we travel a lot.
Have you been here before? I have to say, this is my first time in this city.
Actually, no, this is my first time, too. Bethany's been here multiple times.
Oh. Do you know much about the city? It seems to be a sort of strange city, and it's got a lot of pockets that we've been told to avoid.
Well, I mean, it's no different than any port city, I guess. There's always the seedy people that like to hide out in the dark, scary places and steal from people when anyone less expects it.
I do hate when I run into those people.
Yeah, Bethany and Click Clack try to avoid those areas.
It is a shame when you find those people. Would you be able to give us some advice on the areas that we should avoid? We've already heard to stay away from the Crab Warren area.
Well, I mean, the Warrens are definitely places you want to avoid, since that's, like I said, them seedier elements like to occupy there. In fact, the 4 Warrens in question are the crab, lobster, mussel, and clam. You definitely want to avoid those.
Fair enough.
But other than that, there's not much. I mean, the only other place I can think of that you want to avoid is the Gilded Quarter. I'm not saying that because it's dangerous. I'm saying that because there's just a lot of rich folk, and there's more city guard up there, since it's right in front of the Royal Quarter anyway.
You sure do know a lot.
Well, yeah, I mean, I kind of have to. You know, while Bethany's over here in the fleet drafting house trying to get business taken care of, I tend to have to go out and look for information, other sorts of things, that sort of business, if you know what I mean.
That's very helpful. Appreciate that. Now, the drafting house that she's in, I was thinking we may be in need of procurement of a ship. Is that the place to go to find out what's available?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Drafting House is the surefire place if you want to charter a ship or, like, you know, get information on what goods have just been brought in, that sort of thing. The Fleet Drafting House is your place to go. Oh, here comes Bethany now. And as you watch this stout-looking dwarf, dark brown skin, red hair and curls, but, like, bundled up into a bouffant behind her, storms out. And then as she storms out, she turns around and says, "And you're right, fucking stick man, you stupid fucking human. I fucking hate these people." And and the tiefling jumps and says, "Yes, what's up? What is it, Bethany?" "Looks like we weren't able to get what I wanted. That swordsman I tried to commission for that shipment just backed out because a store got broken into last night. Fucking coward, if you ask me. Who are these people?"
Did you say you need a swordsman?
Yeah, I did, and who are you?
I am somebody who may be able to be of assistance.
And in what fucking way would you be of assistance to me?
With a sword.
The fuck do you want to do a sword for? I need to carry swords, not actually fucking
You
buy
need
swords.
to carry swords.
Yes, trying to take a shipment to Everwood. I can't now because the fucker backed out of his fucking contract. I hate when contracts get broken. I don't get paid, and I lose a bit of a reputation as well. Can't really be relied upon to fulfill anything if you can't fulfill even one fucking job. Now I gotta find another armor in this fucking city to fulfill something.
So when you say you need something fulfilled, are you needing transport to get your wares elsewhere? Or are you looking to get someone to make you such armor and swords?
Do you not see the bloody fucking cart in front of me? I don't need... It's not the fact that I need transportation. It's the fact that I had a contract in the works where I go to Jalad to pick up an order of swords, deliver them to Everwood, and move on and get paid at the same time. But now I can't fucking do that. I have to go look elsewhere now. A 50 sword order was made, and now the fucker backed out of it because his order got stolen from him last night.
What kind of swords do you need?
Just an average run-of-the-mill swords.
Oh, Corinne's a pretty good smith.
Aye, and do you look like you've got a walking fucking forge on you that can make 50 swords in the blink of an eye, do you?
Nah, I don't.
Then I really guess you're no help to me, are you?
I don't suppose so. However, if you find some place that may just be short on the manpower, as it were, I'm pretty good once I have a forge.
How long do you think you could take to do 50 swords? I'm just asking out of character.
I do not know.
Also, is there a possibility that...
Hang on. Let me see if I can find something for you. Because I know that other campaign I'm in, the guy posted a lot of accompanying PDFs for stuff. Smithing. Here we go. That's what I need.
I know in Skyrim, you just have to have the materials, but...
No, pokes Rashida in the side and says, "See, I'm not as bad as I could be there, am I?
I mean...
I'm much more pleasant than
I
some."
could just talk to the man.
Um,
I'm sure I'd be able to assist in some way if I just talk to him.
Nell's pretty interested in the person who had their stuff stolen, so once Falkrin decides how many swords she could make, if she could make swords, then I'd like to know about the man who had his stuff stolen, because that seems pretty sketchy to have that many swords stolen. Like, who needs that many swords? What are they
Right, though?
trying to do?
Okay, perfect. I know how long it will take you, so let's see. Okay, actually, that's a shit ton of days. So, Falcon, what you know in terms of how long it would take to fulfill an order of 50 swords?
Mm-hmm.
It would take you at the very least 100 days if it was just you by yourself.
Yeah.
Multiple forges operating at once, that time could be cut down to probably a week.
Which I do have the guild background, so
Okay.
I could potentially have a connection to that.
Okay. All right.
Let's see if I have more intel on the guild background. Okay, so as an established and respected member of a guild, I can rely on certain benefits for lodging and food. Oh, and pay for my funeral if needed. That's kind. If there's a guild hall locally, I could probably get us into one.
Okay.
Well, there's something that Falcon and Nil have in common. They've at least both been in guilds.
Yeah, so, I just have connections, really, so maybe I could help her get connected. But also, Falcon will do this out of the goodness of her heart, but I don't know how it would impact our... Falcon is not turning this into, how can this help us steal information about ships?
Okay. Well, from what you know in terms of guilds here in Jalad, there is definitely a smithing guild. In fact, it's more than likely that the person who is commissioned to forge 50 longswords is part of this guild.
Okay.
I'm assuming you just have general guild membership?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Any sort of smithing guild I can typically get in. Okay. I think what Falcon would say in response to this is, now, if you're needing any help getting to a smithing guild, you should be able to count on a smith and their word. I could get you connected to them potentially. Of course, a woman such as yourself may already have bountiful connections. Alternatively, you said his swords were stolen.
His fucking store was broken into last night, apparently, and someone made off with the entire fucking order.
That's a lot of swords to steal at once. I would think that would be a bit conspicuous.
Well, it's either one of two groups. It's either the fucking Longboards or the fucking Ironbeards that stole the goddamn swords. My money's on the Ironbeards.
Ironbeards, okay.
I've heard of the Ironbeards. What about the Longboards?
Longboards are the more honorable thieves. They don't really steal from the artisan guilds so much as they like to pick pockets and, run their little shell games. But in terms of stealing from people blatantly, not their style.
Where did we find out that the Ironbeards hung out again? I know it's in one of the
Ironbeards hung out in Lobster Warren.
Lobster Warren.
In fact, that's their territory. From what you could gather from in fact, you met the Longboards. They're in the Crab Warren. The Ironbeards are in the Lobster Warren.
That's right. Okay.
Are you saying longboards as in like a elongated skateboard?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or in this case, a surfboard.
Okay. Surfboard, huh? Kahame would...
It's like Kahame in another world down the wrong path.
this is evil Kahame with a goatee.
He still has lots of friends.
My God.
He's still super chill, but he's still in for the villains.
Bethany pinches the bridge of her nose, takes a hip flask off of her belt, and takes a sip of something, screws it back on, puts it back on the belt, and goes, I just realized I've been frickin' giving you the your share of hell, and it's really not deserved. I don't fucking know you, so I do apologize. This isn't exactly how... You haven't exactly caught me at my best, to be honest.
Oh, that's all right. We'll forgive you. I'm sure Nil here is due for some help. So that was... I'm just thinking of it being sent her way. She nudges you in the thigh.
Bethany looks over at Neil and goes, interesting seeing a drow out and about in the sun. I thought you people liked to hide in the shadows.
Nil just kind of like tucks under her hood and says, I make my own shadows.
That's what I fucking figured. Alright, listen, I tell you what. You get me those fucking 50 swords. I think I'll put in a good word for you, and you're welcome to join me to Everwood. I'm heading back there. In fact, that's, like I said, was where I was delivering the swords anyway.
When were you planning to go to Everwood?
We should be leaving within the next 3 to 4 days.
3 to 4 days.
I'd definitely pay your way if you're interested in joining up with us. It's a lot safer traveling through the mountains that way.
Might I... There was another ship we were thinking about trying to get to. I see that you just walked out of the drafting house. Any chance... Do you know any folks in there? I was trying to get some information on another boat, another ship. Forgive me. I was just trying to think if maybe I want to make this work. Is what I'm saying. Nil, we needed information on that other ship, right?
Nil kind of just tries to gather herself and says, "Yeah, we've heard of a ship, and it just had a very interesting name, and we were wondering if you've heard of something called the Emerald Nightengale."
Oh, the Emerald Nightengale. Well, I know that ship comes in every now and then. Why?
I just heard a few interesting things about it, and as I've never been to Jalad, I've heard about it in my travels and just wanted to know when it might be coming in, if I could see it. I've heard it's quite an interesting looking ship, and I was just kind of curious. We're kind of curious people.
Weren't we trying to get a ride on that ship? I don't know. I'm not good with going places. I just am where I am. Oh, anywho, we'll figure out the swords. But if you do know anything about that Emerald Nightengale, I think it would help us figure out what our next plan is.
Well, I don't really track that, but if you head inside, you could probably find someone, at least one of the officiators of the drafting house who might know. The person who will definitely know would be Jorgen Sturmfaust, but he's the dock master. So if you visit him for some information, you'd have a very good fucking reason why he's not really keen on giving out just information to anyone.
Is there anything that could help butter him up? Anything
aside from the fact that he's a proud dwarf, not much, but if you play him a good tune, he might be keen on giving you an audience.
Rashida nudges Akima.
How does he feel about bagpipes, I wonder?
an Akima job.
Yeah, bagpipes? I think he might be partial to some bagpipes.
Who doesn't love the bagpipes every now and then?
Oh yeah, I've heard a good dwarven tune up north that plays off of them bagpipes.
Ah, indeed.
Try that if you want to get some information out of him.
Very good, very good. I do appreciate your information there, Beth.
Well, don't mention it. If you do want to take me up on that travelling arrangement, I'll be staying at the Broken Oar. Just ask for Tala and she'll come get me.
Okay, very, very good. Thank you.
No problem. All right, Anya, get into the cart with you. Click-clack, you know where you need to go. Of course. 1 second. Click-clack puts the last box in the back of the cart, and Anya hops up into it and starts kicking her feet off the edge, while Click-clack himself gets into the cart and then stands up top, and then he just, strikes a pose of putting his hands on his chest. On his hips. As Bethany herself climbs into the cart, grabs the reins, gives him a jerk, and the horses start off.
There's so many freaking dwarves.
Does Nil say this, or is she just raging internally?
She's raging internally.
Okay. Alcrin senses she should about something that doesn't bother.
In the meantime, Akima wanders over, her hat in her hands and her bagpipes put away, and she's just counting out the gold in her hat and goes, "Hey guys, I just made us 20 gold off some music."
You fancy going
Nil looks to Akima with respect, and she's like, "You're pretty useful. You remind me a lot of a friend I used to have. It's nice to have an entertainer around again. It's been quite some time."
Are you saying I'm just here to entertain you?
You're all just here to entertain me. But
Okay.
It's nice to have someone who's good at it.
She flips the hat back up, right side up, puts it back on her head. Okay, where are we going?
Well, we have some options.
I say you and Akima might be the best to talk to the Dark Master. as
We're
he is
talking
a
to a
proud
master?
dwarf, and he
She gets a smile on
really
her face.
seems to like songs, so we've been told, and he might be
I like
keen to
songs.
have
Okay.
a bagpipe ditty.
Oh. You sure he doesn't like a flute or maybe even a tune off of a lute, say, perhaps?
I
The
don't make a point to learn much about the dwarves, but we were told that they liked bagpipes, that he liked the bagpipes.
Okay.
It's hard to turn down a good bagpipe tune.
All right. I'll give it a whirl.
Are you sure I need to be the one to go?
He likes dwarves. He's a proud dwarf. I'm not very, I don't know if you've been able to notice this, Falcon. I'm not very good with dwarves. It is my one character flaw. That's my one flaw. I'm not very good with dwarves. It's the only thing I'm bad at. It's the only thing I really need to fix. But I'm not going to because it doesn't need to be fixed because you really need to be friends with dwarves. No offense, Falcon.
I don't know how I can take it anyway other than offense. But okay.
I mean, clearly the drow and dwarves are a little bit different. I think you're such a concentrated dwarf that a proud dwarf would really take to you. You just you're a dwarf.
I just don't know.
Would you like some liquid courage?
No.
Think of it as a
No,
potion.
I don't think.
I mean-
what I would like to do, can we rehearse what I'm trying to get from him?
I can go
Okay,
with you
we
if you
can
wanted.
do some role play.
I don't know how I feel about roleplay. We could try it.
Oh, boy.
You must be having some very vanilla sex if you're not into role play, Falcon.
Excuse me.
Akima just turns bead red at this and just like pulls her hat down over her head.
Falcon.
And just starts walking into the flea drafting house.
I think Rashida at this point is going to follow after her.
do you still have your alcohol in an area where it can be quickly snatched from your hand?
Never.
Oof.
Okay, in that case, Falcon goes,
I may rethink that, and she pulls a flask out and takes a sip. I don't want to. I just want to go over what I need to say if I'm the one that has to go and talk to him.
Okay, so you go into the dock house, and if you'd like, Rashida and myself will stand nearby, trying to look busy or purposeful in some way. Rashida can pass out her little pamphlets or something. And you just need to say, I would like to inquire about your ship. And tell him the ship's name. And if he seems dubious, then just play it off like you're just a tourist who's heard of the ship in your travels. And you're a traveling dwarf trying to bring the word of, I don't know, whatever god it is that you...
Garden.
Yeah, whatever. You're trying to bring the word of your person thing, whatever, out into the world and spread it all around. And in your travels, you've heard of the Emerald Nightengale. You're just in town for a few nights and would like to know a little bit about it.
Do we have any interesting factoids about it to make me really sell the idea that's what I want to ride on? Other than, I think emeralds are pretty.
Can I roll to see if I've heard of the Emerald Nightengale before?
Sure.
What is that, like history?
Yes.
I only got a 12.
You don't know much outside of it's just a general cargo ship. I mean, there's nothing
General.
spectacular about it. I mean, it's no different than the Flaming Lion.
So we don't have anything extra. That's what I'm getting from that thing.
He doesn't know that nobody's told you it's not special.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so
Just say you met somebody in the last town you were in who was
then
on the
said-
Emerald Nightengale, and you had a nice time with them, and you heard that it would be coming into this town and wanted to know if they were going to be in port soon.
I like that. I don't like this, but
You'll have Akima with you, and she's you know, pretty good at disappearing and kicking people in the balls and playing the bagpipe. That's something. That's not nothing.
I'm still covered in point two. Is that correct?
Soot? Yes.
Yeah, we probably need to clean you up a little bit again, don't we?
That may help. I do feel a bit down in the dumps in it, maybe because I'll look like I'm down in the dumps.
Maybe he'll take pity on you. But no, you should look like a proud dwarf. You should look like a proud...
Indeed, I should.
I know enough about dwarves to know they won't help a creature that they've taken pity on, usually.
I don't know about that. No, you're right. I need to get clean.
Not that you got very dirty in the first place, Falcon, but we'll get you clean on the outside.
You're going to make comments about how I didn't get dirty enough now. Oh! Is there a bathhouse nearby that I may partake in?
It would take you about a good 20 minutes to head over there.
Oh.
Is there any running water or just water in general nearby?
Oh, yeah, no, there's plenty.
Plenty of salt water, too.
There's just kind of like a wash station.
In fact, if you look over, there is a stable of sorts. It's mostly just for tying up horses while you conduct business inside the Fleet Drafting House. But while there is a trough of water for the horses, there's also a larger reservoir of actual water. In fact, some people can be seen getting some and drinking from it.
Look, and Rashida's clothes are basically made of rags, so you can just use a bit of her clothing and wipe your face.
Falcon gives you a glare and then just walks over to the water without a comment.
I'm glad Rashida wasn't there for that.
And she takes off the...
So Falcon's going to wash up, in a sense?
Yeah, Falcon's going to go wash up and she'll take off the what's the word I'm looking for?
Oh, yeah, you were in a cloak, right?
Yes.
Yeah, she's wearing a very rough-looking cloak.
Sad excuse for a cloak.
So now you're back in your priestly garments of a cleric.
So now that she's back in them, she walks over to Rashida and says, "Would you like to hang on to this cloak? I won't be needing it for now."
I'll take it.
Thank you. Okay. Did you hear our plan, Neil's plan, that I'm a part of?
I got the gist of it. If you'll need any assistance in talking to the man, just let me know.
You're going to help me talk?
You're going to help somebody else talk. You don't talk much yourself, Rashida.
I have a way with words sometimes.
Aye, that you do. But I'll go ahead and appreciate that. And I'll be going into the draft house.
We'll come in with you, and we'll be there. We'll be close to you.
I don't know if that'll make me feel better.
Well, we'll be there just in case you fumble, and we'll come over and go, oh, the Emerald Nightengale. I've heard of that ship, and you don't even have to know each other. We could just be somebody else giving validity in case you start to, be too aware of yourself. But I believe in you, Falcon. I think you can do this.
Okay, but stay kind of far away. If it turns into a commotion, run over.
We will come over.
Okay.
Rashida and I will see what we can find out in the other parts of the dockhouse.
Fair enough. All right. Let's give it a go.
I take it everyone's going inside?
Yeah.
Aye.
All right. As you enter, what you see is an expansive three-tiered building. The main floor consists of a gigantic map showing the basin of Jalad, the various piers, and is also used to conduct business. In fact, you do see a lot of people arguing, cheering, discussing, hashing out deals, that sort of thing. You see Captain Scarlet's off in the corner, apparently being harassed by a much older man. After a spell, she puts up a hand, and you can't hear from here because she's all the way off in the distance. But apparently it looks like they're just having a business negotiation, no different from any other on the floor. Trade currency exchanges and resources are also being discussed here. And then at the back end of this floor, it also contains the actual drafting room, which is a partitioned off area where where large tables draped with paper and parchment can be found, and people are currently drawing up maps. The second floor sits above all this with a balcony that extends over the main floor and contains all record keeping, all exchanges, ledgers, inventories, resource counts, and the like. The third and final floor contains a small seating area where a couple more noble-dressed dwarves are standing with a couple guards. It looks like this is more of a private discussion area. And then part of that floor also appears to, and this is very unusual because this is like the first sight of seeing this, but it looks to be an enclosed room built into the actual building itself. With windows looking out onto the floor. So you're not sure if this is a main office, but judging by the size of it, it's probably bigger than just a main office for like the dockmaster to do business in.
Now, right away, is there like an information desk where maybe I could ask to speak with Jorgen?
Okay. Yes, in fact, there is one that is, ironically, centered right on where the Fleet Drafting House is on the map. There's a very tired-looking dwarf sitting there. He's looking like he's got to nod off. I mean, like it's actually surprising considering that there's a very loud hubbub going on, and this guy's looking like he's just dead tired and bored.
Okay. I motion for Akima to come with me, and I walk up to the gentleman, and in Dwarvish, I ask him, pardon me, sir. I was told to seek out Jorgen Stormfest. Would you be able to assist me in getting in contact with him?
You want to speak to Jorgen? Hang on one second. Let me see if he's busy. And he pulls out a thick book, opens it up to a page that's got a bookmark attached to it, runs a finger down it and taps and goes, actually, he's free right now. This is his lunch hour. Or actually 2 hours, because he likes to take 2 hours for lunch, but, whatever. I can get him for you if you'd like.
If you wouldn't mind, I'm a representative of Moradin, brought along a friend. I've heard that he's a fan of some good bagpipe music. I was hoping to, bless him with that, but then also perhaps ask for some information for the cause of Moradin.
As a general policy, Jorgen has it that we really don't get bothered for religious matters. So if you're here to bless him, don't count on it. But I'm pretty sure he'd be okay with a song or two and maybe an exchange of information. What is the business of this information exchange, if you don't mind my asking?
Well, I'm looking to make my way out of town, but I did... Last time I was here, I recall hearing of a ship, and it was called the Emerald Nightengale. I met somebody who worked on it. I was hoping to maybe run into them again, see if I could perhaps ride along. I don't know much about the ship. I was hoping to get some information.
It's a very random reason why you'd want to book passage on a cargo vessel, but it's your business, not mine. Give me a second. And he reaches into a very ornate-looking box and pulls out a palm-sized stone and speaks quietly into it, and then puts it back into the box and locks it. And then up top on the third floor, the door opens. Out walks an elderly-looking dwarf. His beard has been braided. In fact, he's got a salt and pepper coloration to his hair. But his clothing is that of a very well-off merchant. This man has made his fortune in life. He's got silks colored in greens and blues, gold embroidery. A couple rings adorn his hands as he, grips the banister for the third floor and looks out on the drafting room. Looks around, looks at the information desk and catches eye of you. And then he reaches into his pocket and then puts his hand up to his face and speaks into it. As this happens, the dwarf hears a noise coming from the box. He unlocks it, picks it up, puts it to his ear, and puts it back and says, he doesn't want to see you right now, I'm afraid. I told him that you were a cleric of Moradin and your intentional business here was to gain information about the Emerald Nightengale, but I guess, like I said, the second he heard Priest of Moradin, he said no. So,
that's a shame.
1 second.
What, baby?
Have you guys your religious needs?
Akima looks at the dwarven man and says, well, then how about just a song? I mean, if we're there at least just to play him a song, I'm pretty sure he'd be fine. We'll refrain from the religious preaching. Sorry. And the dwarf goes,
I don't have to tell you about it. It's fine.
He pulls a face and goes, all right, I'll try again. Speaks into his hand, speaks into the stone. Jorgen up top fishes the stone out of his pocket, listens to it, speaks into it again. The dwarf nods and goes, oh, well, I'm surprised, but he said, fine, send up the musician.
Falcon turns to Akima and says, he'll see you.
Well, I thought we were going together to ask about the ship. I mean, you're the one that wanted to book passage on it, right?
Aye, but she turns back to the dwarven man. Do you think he'd be bothered if I accompany her?
I don't think so. Like she just said, as long as you guys don't preach or anything to him, you should be fine.
Oh, no, that's fine. I'll just come along.
All right, and then, there he is. And as you watch, a human man descends from the third floor. He's dressed in scale mail. His complexion is very rich golden brown. He has thick black eyebrows and even thicker hair. In fact, the hair itself has a wet, glistening sheen to it. But that's not the items of interest. He has very curved-looking swords attached to his belt. And he finally descends the stairs, approaches the desk, and goes, and these are the two that Jorgen said to come up to his office? Yes, these are the two. Okay. Follow me, please. And he beckons you both up to the third floor and proceeds you forward.
While they're going up there, is Scarlet in, like, an area where Rashida and I could go near her, but without her seeing us? Like, could we hide? I would like to, since Falcon made it clear she did not want us near her while she did her her discussions with her fellow dwarf. I'm going to go listen to Captain Scarlet, and then Nil kind of whispers to Rashida and says, "Since they don't need us, you want to go listen?"
I don't see why not.
A little kind of, Nil is stealthing. And she says to Rashida, she starts to walk over and then stops and turns to Rashida and says, I don't know if I need to say it, but I will just in case. We're going to try to not be noticed by Captain Scarlet.
I kind of got the impression by the listening and not being seen portion of this.
Just wanted to make sure, because you haven't shared much. I just wanted to be sure.
That's fine.
We're going to hide and try to listen.
It's probably a good idea to hide.
So we're going to go try to stealth over there, I guess. And
Okay.
See if I actually manage to fucking stealth.
Actually, you won't need to because she's very engrossed in this conversation, so her attention is
Thank
elsewhere.
okay, sweet.
All right, and as you approach, the conversation gets a lot more clear, and you can hear that the older man is apparently attempting to come up with a business deal for shipping cargo back overseas, but Captain Scarlet's not having any of it, considering that the pricing is a little too cheap for her tastes, and she'd like to go. She's holding out for more money, essentially. Okay. But the merchant, of course, is being unreasonable and saying, well, no, I can't afford that. And she's like, right, listen, you came to me, not the other way around. You came to purchase my services for getting your goods across the sea, not me seeking you out for a business proposition. I understand that, but see reason here, Captain. I'm but a simple merchant, and I'd like to get my goods overseas. I can pay you, but with your pricing, it's just unreasonable. How am I supposed to expand my markets if I can't even, book a proper ship to take it overseas? Well, you should have thought of that first thing. And this banter just goes back and forth as they try to negotiate.
Does the man seem familiar at all in any way? Does he seem like...
Not really.
No, okay.
No, he's just like just
a random merchant.
Random merchant.
Random merchant. Can we pick up on any other conversations around us?
Not a whole lot.
Not a whole
It's
lot.
mostly just, inane and banal chatter about finances and money.
Okay.
Is the only way, well, the third floor is pretty much just noble private business, right?
Pretty much.
So since that seems pretty boring, Nil's going to, first floor's maps, right?
First floor is maps.
Nil motions to Rashida and whispers and says, that seems pretty useless. Do you want to go maybe copy some maps with me? See if there's anything that could be helpful for us.
I don't see one.
So we'll just go copy some maps. We'll take out her notebook and her pen.
All right, roll me a sleight of hand check.
Oh, that's the wrong one. Oh, 18.
I see. Okay, you managed to copy down to make a bunch of detailed maps of not just the continent, but the towns that lie here and there. And you can see, first of all, that Everwood is one of the first major towns north of the Karima Mountains. You can reach it both by river or just traveling through the mountains themselves. Either way.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
Mm-hmm. And what else would you like to know about the maps in particular?
Is there a map of this town in particular, like, in there?
Of Jalad?
Yeah, of Jalad.
Yes, but the DM has neglected to create said map, so I can just give you the
It's a pretty rough map. The artist wasn't very good.
Yeah.
It was a black
Basically,
pen. It was a charity.
It just shows the basin where like all the docks and piers and the warrens are located. Whatchamacallit? The Gilded Quarter, where it has a lot of the more rich apartments, and the Gilded Quarter is actually carved into the mountain that the city rests at the foot of. And then to the east of the Gilded Quarter, you see that that's where the royal quarter is located. That's where the royal palace is housed. In fact, actually, another thing that you notice is that the royal quarter actually extends over the riverway.
Okay. And where is the mansion that Nil followed the statue to the mansion that the Ironbeards took over? Where is that in relation to all of, like, in town?
Well, it's not so much that the Ironbeards took it over. It's just it's a private residence that has its own bar.
Oh, wait, I missed all that. No, it's shoot. I missed everything.
I'm confused. What's going on?
No, my computer like froze.
I think Kyle's frozen.
I think Kyle's the one that's frozen. He's stopped talking.
Oh no.
What, Betty? Betty? Hi, Betty Boop. Miss Booperton? What?
Maybe he was super surprised by what he found on his map.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ah, you're back.
Yeah, and my internet crapped out on me. Okay, what were you saying?
Oh, I was asking where was that the mansion where they took the Corvus statue or the armor? Where is that in relation to like the the town?
That is located within the Gilded Quarter.
Okay.
More towards the backward of the mountain than the rest of the city.
Okay. And would you say by the time we finish copying all the maps, like how long would that take? Would we have time to go to the second floor?
You can if you'd like.
Do you want to go to the second floor, Rashida?
How do you suggest we do that?
Aren't there stairs?
Are there security?
On the third floor?
Oh, not on the second.
No, there's no security on the second.
Okay, that's fine. Let's go to the second then. The second, to the second hole?
Yeah, you're pretty good with anything, aren't you, Rashida?
What are you talking about?
Like, you just kind of do whatever I say. You just kind of tag along.
I don't have a reason not
Is there anything
to.
you want to do?
I'm sorry?
Is there anything anything you would like to do here? I don't want to, like, just force you around.
Oh, you don't?
I mean, he's not a stupid dwarf.
I don't.
And you're not there to defend that.
I mean, so long as the information that we need is being gotten, and we can just roam around, I don't see a reason why we can't just explore.
All right, well, let's go explore the second floor.
Right. Do any stealth rolls need to be made at any point?
No.
Okay.
In fact, as the two of you just ascend the stairs, you see that the second floor is really sparsely populated. There's just like a couple people checking inventories, that sort of thing. There is, however, a small desk where an elvish woman is sitting. She's got her nose in a book, glasses pressed up high on her face. And then as she hears you approach, she looks up and goes, "Oh, hi, what can I do for you today?"
What book is she reading?
It's a nonfiction book. It's basically just it's a ledger.
Fanfic?
No, he's conducting business.
Is it 50
He's
Shades of Grey
gainfully
Dragon?
employed.
Is it 50 Shades of Grey Dragon?
Oh,
That's what's really on the inside of the ledger.
nope. She sits there expectantly.
We're just kind of tourists passing through, and just wanted to see the dockhouse. My friend here was raised on ships, and she just kind of wanted. She has a real fascination for harbour houses and dockhouses and seeing how things are done and how you keep your ledgers. She's very anal about it. It's quite annoying.
Well, this floor is our records floor. As you can see, we keep a lot of, exchanges, contracts, everything. All of our booking is up in here. So you're more than welcome to take a look, but do avoid the areas that are currently guarded. And as you can see behind her, there are a couple shelves that have like a person standing right next to them. They're gently ushering other people away, just basically saying, no, you can't, take a look here. But there's also a lot of shelves where there's like pretty much people just, grabbing things and taking a look at them, to be honest.
Is there a reason some of the shelves are guarded?
It's just there are some people who like to keep their business exchanges private.
Oh, so it's like a safety shelf, kind of just, if you put it on that shelf, no one can touch it.
Yeah, you can say
interesting. That. Okay, well, thank you. We do appreciate it. We'll have a good look around where we're supposed to be.
Okay.
Be sure to stay away.
All right, then. And go ahead and enjoy yourselves. She goes back to her book.
Her look
The
book.
lookbook.
Yes. Lookbook.
Does it...
How far?
Do any of the guarded shelves... Oh, go ahead, Tina.
How far? Like, I kind of wanted to lean in to whisper to Nil, but I wanted to get far enough away out of earshot from really anyone at this point. But I was sort of going to suggest, should we perhaps see if we can find that particular ledger?
That's what I was kind of hoping. But it seems, I have a feeling that's one of the guarded
I would
ledgers.
assume so.
Do all the shelves with the ledgers that are being guarded, do they just look kind of inconspicuous, or could we see, if we were kind of looking, could we see what's being guarded on that shelf? Like, would it say, the ship's name on the side of the spine or something like that?
It's pretty inconspicuous.
Yeah, there's no real way of actually knowing at that point.
Which one
Yeah.
is which? Unless we would just wanted to go talk to the guards. How many guards are there? How many shelves are being guarded right now?
There are currently 4 being
Oh,
guarded.
jeez.
4.
Oh,
Okay.
jeez, Rick.
Okay. In the meantime, shifting scenes.
Okay. I'll yeah.
Yeah. The bodyguard leads Falkrin and Akima up to the 3rd floor. And as you enter the 3rd floor, so to speak, a couple people give you curious looks, and one of them frowns disdainfully at the, priestly garments. Not so much they hate Morden, but it's just like, ugh, religious people, so to speak.
Oh, maybe Nil should have gone with you.
Maybe.
And the bodyguard tells you to wait for a few seconds. And, of course, as this happens, the door opens to the apartment, so to speak, and the man walks out. He's dressed in fine clothes, silks, flowing pants of red velvet, a vest of green, and a blue undershirt. And he basically gives a mock curtsy, bow, whatever, and then smiles, and then you hear a chuckle coming from within the room. And he spins on his heel and tips his hat to the bodyguard and goes, "Well, Boar, I guess he's in a good mood. Something good must be happening today or something. Ta-ta." And he just skips down the stairs and leaves the entire building.
I think we're freezing again.
Uh-oh. No, I hear you guys.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you said the guy left the office, and
Yes.
now we're there. Falkrin kind of nudges Akima to go first.
She goes, "Okay, all right." And she pulls out her bagpipes, and the bodyguard raises an eyebrow with confusion, but shrugs it off and says, "Very well, he will see you now. I warn you, though. If you attempt to kill him, I will be forced to kill you. Make no mistake. These blades are from Ravia, and they know more than enough blood in their entire time of creation."
Wow.
Yeah.
And you don't have
Take
the
that as
two
a
people
fair
from Ravia.
I know.
I'm bad.
Falkrin just looks at him and goes, "We aren't hoping to find any bloodshed today."
Let us hope it stays that way. And he ushers you both in, and Akima has her bagpipes out. Jorgen Sturmfaust is sitting behind his desk, his elbows forward, his hands cupped together, and goes, "All right, well, the doorman down at the bottom decided to tell me you guys have a song you wanted to play."
Aye, that's true. My friend here is quite gifted with the bagpipes, and we heard that you may enjoy a good dwarven tune as much as the rest of us. So I figured to share.
Why wouldn't I? But in the meantime, however, he also mentioned you're here for information. What, pray tell, is that information?
Aye, that's correct. I was hoping to get more information about a ship I'd encountered a while back. It's called the Emerald Nightengale. I'd met somebody on it, and I was hoping to maybe figure out when they'd be coming in again. I'd much like to make acquaintance with them once more.
It's a very interesting reason. Why do you want to make acquaintances with a random cargo ship?
Well, it's not just the ship. The person I met on it, if you could have just seen. Oh, she gets.
Puts up a hand as Falcon starts and goes, "I think I've heard enough." Well, I hate to break it to you, but I'm not exactly in the business of giving away information like that for free. It will cost you.
I hope it costs about as much as a good song.
It'll be 1,000 gold pieces.
Oh, 1,000. I mean, I liked him, but I don't know if I liked him. That being said, if it's all right, I'd like to take some time to consider that. But regardless, if you'd care to hear a song, my friend would be happy to play for you.
A song, huh? And he leans back in his chair, puts up his booted feet, and as you notice, his boots are pure iron, stamped in with the finest of dwarven sigils and craftsmanship. These are very clearly dwarven Confederacy boots.
Falkrin shudders a little bit, but tries to...
You can see the fine etchings along the edges of the metal, because clearly somebody took their time and put love and care into these boots.
She twitches a little bit. He's like, oh.
He reaches over to his plate and grabs half of a sandwich and then tears off a chunk and eats and goes, "Well, I'll play." And Akimi goes, "Okay, I have a little dwarven ballad I might play." Ooh, nice. Okay.
Oh, good.
Thank
That was
God.
a great
I was so worried.
He starts to play, and the tune starts out a mournful tune.
Does
The
Falkrin
bagpipes.
recognize this tune?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
The tune itself is a very famous dwarven ballad of old. It is called... Give me a second to look at the map. Right. Yes. The Sacking of Golgamoth. What you know of Golgamoth is it was once one of the premier bastions of the Drow of the North. And when the Sundering happened and the lowborn races realized they could finally take over, one of the first things the dwarves did was band together, form a war council, and attack the North, laying siege to the Onyx Hills. For 7 days and 8 nights, the city of Golgamath was heavily beaten, attacked, assaulted, and defended by the Drow, fending off the dwarves at every turn.
Hockey dwarves.
Yeah. Until finally, the dwarven hero Arg, the Undying Mountain, breached the gates, but at great cost of his life. After the gates had been breached, the dwarves swarmed the city, attacking the Drow left and right. They put up a good, fierce last stand, defending the palace keep to the last man until finally the last dwarf, excuse me, not the last dwarf, the last Drow, her armor broken, her bones smashed and crushed by dwarven mauls, lay there with her final gasps as Arg's lieutenant demanded their surrender. Spitting at him in the face, she gave him her only response, and he took his maul and bashed her head in. The dwarves held her body aloft, and the sacking of Golgamoth was finally done. And all of this you remember from Tales of Old, and this is how the ballad sings. It, of course, you know, since it's a dwarven ballad, it trumps up the dwarves' achievements over the Drow. And probably that she didn't get her head bashed in or anything like that, but of course, you know, dwarves being dwarves and how prideful they are, they probably, spiced up the tale so that they came out on top. Either way, you see that Jorgen has been reduced to tears.
Do we hear this song from the second floor?
Yes, everyone hears this song. In fact, a lot of people are staring at the apartment, and the dwarves that are in the room have started crying.
No, my dwarven eye in the place. Falcon's crying along with them a little bit.
Bill is filled with rage.
Yes.
He does not care for this song.
Jorgen pulls a silk handkerchief from his coat pocket and just dabs at his eyes and goes, "Okay, no more, please." Oh, it's a beautiful song. For a human, you're not bad. Oh. And as Akima's putting away the bagpipe, she elbows you in the side to get you to, hey, now, ask him.
Well, thank you for letting us share this song with you. After consideration, through the tears of the beauty of that song, I'm afraid I don't have the means to pay the price you're looking for. So that being said, thank you for your time. I do hope.
Roll me a persuasion with advantage.
Okay. Persuasion is based on charisma.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, crap.
That's why y'all should have put me in there.
What'd you get?
12.
You still feel the lingering effects of the music over you, and you suddenly feel like you should roll a d6. Bardic inspiration!
The D6, I rolled a 2.
Okay.
14.
Jorgen wipes his eyes dry and goes, "You know what? I needed that. I really needed that. You can forget about the 1,000 gold pieces. I'm just a humble businessman trying to make a living. Here, give me 1 sec." He gets off of his chair, hobbles over to a cabinet of sorts, pulls it open, sifts through the information, and finally pulls out a sheet of parchment and hands it to you. "This is all you need to know about the Emerald Nightengale. Now, if you don't mind, please leave. I'd like to be by myself."
Aye. Thank you so much for your time.
And she just shuffles out of the room.
That's the power of the dirty 20 people.
That's the
with the performance.
ball.
I love it.
As you leave, the bodyguard just gives you a nod, closes the door, and then stands in front of it, crossing his arms. All right. And what you were able, if you were to open up the the piece of parchment, what you see is that the Emerald Nightengale is, where did I put it? Where did I put that information? Here we go. The Emerald Nightingale's home port is the city of Bordos, across the sea. It is scheduled to arrive 3 days from now, and it already has a berth and pier selected for it. The Scallop Pier, berth number 4.
Okay.
So yeah, you have your information.
Falkrin turns to Akima. Do I see Rashida and Nil anywhere?
If you want to do do a perception check.
Oof, 5.
You don't see them.
Okay.
There's too many bodies in the building.
Good. She pulls Akima down closer and whispers, "Can we tell them that we didn't get it? Just for a little bit to make them sweat."
Why?
I just think it's for fun. I'll tell them after, but I just need a couple minutes where they can be upset. Just mostly Nil. I don't care. Rashida can know.
All right, fine.
I have to play with
Filled
Nil.
with your drow racism.
I'll humor
so
you.
invigorated by the thought of conquering your people.
Living trees, you asshole.
If you wanted your mountain, you should have protected it.
That's fair. That's a fair
Oh.
argument. No one wouldn't argue with.
Exactly. By your logic, it
She would
belongs
just
to
punch you
my
in the face. Actually, she'd kick you if you can't reach you.
Falcon's not above biting your ankles off. Okay. So Falcon takes a moment to remember the song, how it made her cry, and try and bring extra tears to her eyes. And like really blinks hard to get them out. And she's like, "Okay,
I'm going to need a performance check.
okay. Shoot, performance is also charisma?
Yeah.
What? That's a 4. My charisma's no good.
Fun.
So with that, thinking that she looks like she's been crying, she seeks out Nil and Rashida.
Okay. You find them on the second floor.
Falcon walks up to them meekly and looks at Nil and goes, I wasn't able to get it.
Nil just glares and looks to Akima with a deep glare, the song raging and boiling her blood. And she just huffs, but she doesn't want to be seen. And so she just very quietly grits her teeth and says, well, isn't that just fucking wonderful? You guys don't have a problem taking what's not yours usually, but when you really need to be useful, leave it to a door. Be fucking useless. And she just kind of...
just played bagpipes. Okay, leave me alone.
That song is not just a song.
He wanted 1,000 gold pieces to get the information.
We
We
tried.
could go back to the Grey Dragon, and I'm sure she really wants to know. I'm sure we could get the gold from her.
I suppose. Do you think? No. Falcon shakes her head and just looks away.
Do you think what?
Can we tell that Falcon is trying to deceive us?
Do an insight check. And then you'll have to do a counter...
Deception.
Yeah, you'd have to do... Falcon do a deception. The rest of you do an insight if you roll.
I did a 5.
I have a 13.
She's got the higher one than
And
me.
Falcon got a 5. Okay. You see right through the deception.
Will stops kind of like mid-rant and just studies Falcon for a moment. Where is Falcon? Where is Falcon storing the scroll?
It's up her sleeve.
Yeah.
And she's just
Does Mill at all perhaps see it at all?
Oh yeah.
No.
This is a big piece of paper rolled up into a.
Mill is going to try to rip the piece of paper out of her hand.
Is that going to be a
Yeah, I need to do sleight of hand.
She's
Say
directly,
again?
that's point blank.
Mill glares at Falcon and just seeing the scroll, tries to quickly grab it from her spot of concealment.
Is there any way that
Is that
like-
sleight of hand?
No, because you know exactly where it is. So.
is there anything I can roll to evade or once I see her moving, Falcon wants to pull it out and be like, I got it. Just kidding. So
Yeah,
like,
you can do that if you want.
okay. Well, then Falcon goes, I'm no good at lying. I did get it. And
Mill
holds it
just
up.
takes her hand. I don't. She like just closes her eyes and holds her fingers to her bridge and just sighs and takes out a flask and takes a big drink. You can hear her go, puts the flask back.
Falcon thinks she's the funniest thing, and she turns to Rashida and goes, would you like it?
Yes, actually.
Here, you can have it.
Takes it, inspects it, looks it over.
Mill just continues glaring at Falcon, just like a bloody dwarf.
To be the funniest person here, I suppose.
If by here you mean your mind, then yes, you are the most hilarious person in your own mind. I'm sure you are.
You're not wrong.
But it is like a dwarf to have an overinflated sense of self. And I think that song proved it.
I thought you liked living in trees.
Oh, yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
guys, settle down, Akima says, trying to, split the two of you apart. We've got our information. Let's get out of here before somebody, decides to try to have a business conversation with us.
Does it look like anybody's been watching us? Can I do perception?
Sure.
19.
19. You don't quite catch it right away, but you see a shape leave the drafting house, and you could have sworn you saw a bronze tail sticking out the bottom of the cloak they were wearing.
That was not a good sound.
Nope.
Does a bronze tail mean anything?
Oh, I don't know. Dragon.
You do remember that there was a bronze dragonborn in
That's
the
right.
Thieves Guild.
In the Thieves Guild. That's right. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they were probably shadowing us.
Yeah.
Tailing us.
They're watching us.
Tailing
All right, so I take it you guys are going to head back.
I mean, if
Yeah.
we've got the information.
Okay. All right. So as you make your way, it is now roughly mid-afternoon, traveling into late afternoon. The sun is a little bit lower in the sky, but not quite behind the mountains just yet. So it's starting. It's like 3:00 in the afternoon right now, as you make your way back to the Crab Warren. Sure enough, following the path that had been directed to you the first time, you find yourself once again at the door with the mysterious eye on it. Door opens, and sure enough, there is Mark again. He nods appreciatively, takes you deeper into the chambers, where you see the gray dragon standing and waiting for you. Arms folded. Well now, look who's back. Little birdie told me you've got something for me.
Rashida looks to
Little
Nil.
birdie. You say no?
No. I said Rashida looks to Nil, expecting her to speak for them.
Nil, seeing this, rolls her eyes and huffs and says, yes, you already know we've got it, but yes, we've got the scroll. Rashida, give her the stupid scroll.
Rashida pulls it out from her sash and hands the scroll over to the Grey Dragon.
Grey Dragon takes it, unrolls it, looks over it, scans the contents, and nods. All right, a deal is a deal. You've got me the information I requested. I'm going to help you break into that mansion. But before then, she claps her hands, and a man comes out from the darkness carrying a chest. No job ever is done for free, so consider this a payment for services rendered. And he opens the chest as she says this, and inside is 1,000 gold.
Nice.
250 each.
Nice. I can actually
Yes,
buy
coin always good.
That's a lot of money for Rashida.
That's a lot of money for Rashida. Rashida didn't even know what to do with that kind of money, but she's going to take it anyway.
Now then, she says, Fizzle. And out of nowhere, Fizzle strides up. Goes, you rang. Find your best fighter. Preferably one who knows how to break in and enter without being seen. Send them with these group of weary travelers. They're going to break into the mansion for us.
I don't think that's such a great idea.
And why is that?
Well, you see, all them new bloods is, what's the word I'm looking for? They ain't got their talons cut yet, so to speak.
And just pick one.
All right, you insisted. I don't want to hear nothing about it if you come back to me saying, hey, how come we got no new blood ready to go for training?
And he points to off to the group of trainees, and you see a female half-elf strides up, her eyes eating bright, and she goes, "You sending me with them?"
Yep. You die, I want to hear about it.
Well, what's that supposed to mean?
It means if you die, I don't want to hear about it. Now get going, new blood.
Okay, all right. And she nervously shies away from Fizzle and approaches you all. Goes, "Hi, I'm Emmy. I hear we're supposed to be working together."
Nil studies her and just says, really? This is the best you've got as a stealthy thief fighter? She's afraid of her trainer.
I mean, he's
And she's supposed to have a
pretty
fight.
intimidating.
Grey Dragon just chuckles and goes, "Well, let's be honest here. A gigantic bird man who likes to beat the crap out of people as part of an initiation process, who wouldn't be afraid of that?"
I mean, you're supposed to get to the point where you're not afraid to fight the giant bird man.
Can Nil fight the giant bird man and see
I
if
don't know
she
if I
gets
could.
scared?
But
I
I would
wouldn't
gladly fight
recommend
the
it.
giant bird man. I'm
I've
not
seen-
afraid to fight the bird man. That's the thing. I'm not afraid to. Would I win? I don't know. But I wouldn't be afraid to do it.
Fizzle just looks at Nil and goes,
Not like this one. She's got some gumption to her.
That's the point of the thieves guilds and the training and the fighting. Don't you have anybody who's, I mean, I'm sorry, little half-elf, but don't you have anybody who's got a little less fear?
"No, you'll have to make do.
Yeah, of course.
Not
we
exactly
do.
using my best knives on this one. If the cult
of
of
course
Korva
not.
is involved, well, let's just say the less it comes back to me, the better. I've heard that they like to disappear people just because they've irritated them. Go on, I'm helping you break in. Trust me.
All right, well, just to be safe, do you have some, just in case? I'm not saying that you're, quote-unquote, best of the dull knives. So sorry, little elf. Best of the dull knives isn't good, but just in case, do you have any extra, perhaps just one extra lock-picking kit we could take with us, just in case she can't do it this time? I have a few, but I have a feeling we're going to need some pretty choice lock-picking kits to get in there.
Fine. Somebody go get Ronki or Esmeralda and have them bring up a lock-picking set.
Much
And
appreciated.
after a short while, a runner comes up with a lock-picking set and hands it to you.
Much appreciated. This will go a long way.
All right, well, get
Not that
going.
we don't believe in you.
Yeah, get out of my sight. Go on. You've got a job to do.
Oh, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Mill's first out.
All right, now we have the option of just time skipping to when you want to break into the mansion, or you could do some more role playing if you'd like. What would you guys like to do?
I'm good with. When is because the girl that owns the drow that owns the what was the name? The Broken Crate.
Yeah, the Broken Crate.
She was gonna get some poison for Nil, and they were supposed to meet up at some point. Is that the next? Like, is that tomorrow that they're meeting?
Yes.
Or is that okay.
That's tomorrow. Yeah.
Tomorrow. We could go do some recon around town, get to know the area a little bit better.
We can visit the Artisans Guild and see if we can find out some information about the swords.
That too. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm pretty interested in who would steal 50 swords.
Yeah.
Right, that's not very inconspicuous.
No.
Sounds like cult work to me.
Also, I have to ask, have any of you ever seen Camp?
No.
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 Okay. The character Fizzle, the way you're doing the voice, Kyle, sounds exactly like Quartermaster from Camp, and so that just... Anyway.
Well, to be honest, I took a page out of Matt Mercer's book when he created Orly, the Tortle first mate / captain in Campaign 2 of Critical Role.
Nice.
And the way he does the voice is hilarious. He's trying to make him sound like a Cajun Bayou man, and it is just beautiful.
Matt Mercer is just a god amongst
Great with
DMs.
voices. Yes. So you like to go visit the Artisan Guild?
Let's
Yeah,
go.
sure.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Is the Artisan Guild run by dwarves?
Yes. Everyone's
Okay, good.
my dwarves.
Nil has had her fill of being
dwarves.
surrounded by dwarves for a little while.
Yeah. Okay. So as you guys, make your way to the Artisan Guild. You'll see it's also part of the basin, but it's more closer towards the Gilded Quarter than out on the piers and the docks. And actually, there is a guild house that handles all transactions related to the guild. And inside there is a male elf, running the books, greeting everyone. Okay. In fact, if you guys want, we could take like a quick 5-minute break.
It's not a bad idea. I do have to use the bathroom.
Okay.
Ah.
Some dust to delay the celestial cataclysm for yet another millennium.
Oh, never mind. That's Agent Washington from Red vs. Blue.
What's that?
No, I'm looking at the voice actor who plays Quartermaster and he
Oh.
plays Agent Washington in Red vs. Blue.
Yes. Yeah, I've been on a Rooster Teeth kick pretty much the last couple months.
They're a good group to be into. I
What's
said
that?
they're a good group to be into.
Yeah. I listen to a bunch of their podcasts while I'm working, and it helps me remain sane.
Feel that.
Oh my God. All right, we ready?
Is Jade back?
No.
Oh,
Nani.
There is no Jade here.
Jade.
Es gibt kein Jade darauf.
Come on, Jade.
My door's open. Video? You don't trade coffee where you are. Okay, sorry, it took a long time to make tea.
Okay. All right. Everyone's back?
Yeah.
Okay. So you enter the Artisan Guild Hall. It's a very simple hall, so to speak. You know, just woods, a couple flyers and bulletins for those looking for work, guild membership, advertisements, that sort of thing. A very slim, middle-aged elf runs the front desk. He's very cheery looking, has his glasses on and everything. Looks up from his reading, goes, welcome, welcome. What can I help you with?
We were hoping to get some information about a local gentleman who had his wares stolen. Maybe some ways to make up for the swords that have gone.
Yes, I heard about that. Clarence isn't exactly happy about that either, especially considering
Can't
that,
imagine so.
unfortunately, due to the fact that we cannot fulfill a commission, the guild must cancel out of the contract, and therefore there is no guarantee of payment to the one who commissioned it. And I can imagine Bethany was very disappointed with that.
I can account that she was.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time she's extremely disappointed by a business discussion and agreement that falls through, so I can assure you this won't be the last. I do apologize. Our guild is not normally known for its inability to fulfill contracted orders.
Oh, certainly.
This was a very random occurrence that took all of us by surprise, that we were broken into at the last possible second, the day before a significant purchase was to be accomplished and completed.
Should I take it to mean that you may suspect whoever took the wares may have been aware of the timing and the transaction of it all?
I will admit I do find it a little convenient that... actually, hang on 1 second. He adjusts his glasses. Are you a guild member?
Aye, indeed I am.
Show me your membership card, please.
Oh, will do. She whips it out and
takes the coin in question, inspects it, flips it over, examines it, holds it up to the light, and goes, very well. This is a genuine certified guild membership card. Hands it back to you. I do apologize. I actually should have asked that to begin with, but it's been a little hectic around here. The break-in has caused a little bit of an increase in terms of our confidentiality procedures, so I do apologize for the abruptness of which I interrupted our conversation. But yes, we do find it a little suspicious that his smithy was broken into at the last second. Clarence normally doesn't have these issues, but then again, we do have a thieves problem within the city.
I do hate thieving problems.
The Ironbeards, I believe, Timothy, and as he says this, he calls over to the far end where a human child is holding up a sign. Actually, he's trying to put it back on the wall, and Timothy looks over and goes, "Yeah? What was the name of that thieves guild that's sort of moved in as of recent months?" And Timothy goes, "Oh yeah, that's some Ironbeards." Yes, the Ironbeards. They're in the past, while we have had a thieves guild within the city that more or less does, the usual acts of larceny and theft, they don't brazenly attack guild members like this. This seems more to be in the Ironbeards' wheelhouse of sorts. They are more prolific with their crimes. In fact, they've been pretty much draining the guard of its resources, trying to defeat them at every turn. Everyone knows where they operate out of, but every time, the guard captain or some young and up-and-coming guardsman attempts to, lay siege to Lobster Warren and root out the Ironbeard menace, they're just nowhere to be found. So it's very frustrating trying to get rid of them. But between you and me, I'd rather have a city with no thieves guilds to begin with. But it is what it is. So.
Well, and it is a bit conspicuous to go about, taking 50 swords at once. You don't just shove that down your trousers and run down the street.
No, you don't. Actually, give me one. Timothy, do you still have that bounty sheet that the Queen's Guard captain posted? And Timothy goes, "Yeah, 1 second. Let me go find it." And he heads over to the board with all the flyers on it and pulls it down and goes, "Yes, here it is," and hands it to Falcon. And on it, you see that there is, in fact, a current standing reward for any information regarding the Ironbeard's location, their strength in numbers, or just, crushing them in general. There is a very hefty 300 gold bounty apiece for whomever can bring this information. And then there's fine print below it saying, information must be verified. Any false leads will result in a forfeiture of the reward and banishment from the palace.
Interesting.
Do you know anything about the Ironbeards? Are they mostly one race, or?
No, they're actually a collection of races that make up the Thieves Guild, or at least that particular Thieves Guild.
Now, for the man that was robbed, is there a way I could contact him or maybe see what went on there?
I mean, you can. I can have Timothy here take you to his smithy if you'd like, so you can ask him yourself.
Hi, I think that would be good. I recently was speaking with Bethany, and she told us that she would like to be able to make that delivery of the 50 swords. Hopefully, we can help, find them, or perhaps if anyone around here would be interested in collectively picking up that contract, that's maybe a backup plan too.
It is. We'd have to find Bethany, of course, and try to renegotiate the contract.
Indeed,
But
yeah.
until we have some actual product that we can provide to her, she's probably not going to want to accept. That being said, if you know of anyone or any free smiths that are willing to help out, we would definitely greatly appreciate it. The sooner we get this contract completed and fulfilled in good order, the better.
Yeah. Now, I don't have a smith in town or a forge of my own in town, but I do a bit of smithing myself. So if you have a list, you could put me down.
Okay.
But I'll go
I tell you what,
Clarence.
go visit Clarence, and when you come back, I should have a list of possible contacts for you to talk to.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you for your time.
No problem. And as he says this, Timothy wanders up and says, okay, let's go find Clarence.
Thank you, Timothy.
Bill kind of just like comes back in revulsion. She's not a big fan of children.
Anyway, Timothy leads you out of the guild hall and right across the street to where Clarence's workshop is located. Clarence himself has already got the fires lit, and he's already started smelting the iron necessary to forge more blades. And Timothy runs up, rings the bell, and Clarence comes out from the back of the workshop, his face covered in soot, and is just wiping his hands off, and goes, if I remember correctly, I think I saw you outside the Fleet Draft House earlier today. Am I correct?
It's very possible we were there.
All right. Oh, give me one sec. He pulls a silver from his pocket and flips it to Timmy. He goes, thank you, sir, and heads off. Okay, what can I help you with? Are you here to buy something or what?
It's more of the or what category. We crossed paths with Bethany today. We heard a bit of the situation. I was wanting to look in and see, one, I myself am a smith. If I could be of assistance, that's something I'd be willing to do. But I'm very interested to learn more about how a group presumably made off with those weapons. I imagine that took you quite by surprise. Who could even do such a thing? We'd love to make sure that doesn't happen again, if possible.
Yeah, I want to know the same thing myself. I'm pretty certain that we possibly have a mole within the guild that could be delivering sensitive information like that, but I've yet to come up with any proof pointing to this, nor does the guild masters want to hear about it right now. They're just more intent on rebuilding our reputation.
Do you mind if I have a look around while you two talk about it?
By all means.
Mill's going to go inspect.
Now,
Okay.
would you say then that the information regarding the purchase that was to be made was pretty hush-hush?
Yes, actually. So that's why I'm very confused and very concerned as to how somehow a group of thieves managed to find out about it, and let alone walk away with it.
Interesting. I know that the thought of 50 swords, albeit a sword on its own, shouldn't weigh too much depending on the type of sword. But to take 50, that's got to be quite an orchestration.
Yes, but unfortunately, there's not much I can do about that except attempt to refill the order. As you can see, and he jerks a thumb behind him. I've had to start the forge up and everything, and I've already gotten at least 5 of the swords ready to go in terms of their raw materials. I just have to smelt the iron, mix in the proper carbon amounts, that sort of thing.
Nice.
Heat them, treat them, and start preparing the metal to be folded and shaped into a sword.
Indeed. That's definitely time consuming. Now, do you have help around here, or do you do it all yourself?
Oh no, I do have some help and assistance. If you'd like, come back into the forge and I'll show you.
Oh, I'd love to.
Okay? He takes you back there and okay. And behind the curtain that he had come from, you see that there are at least 3 different smelting constructions, all of which are currently pouring slag out one end, but then the raw melted ore out of another. And that ore is currently pooling right in front of these smelters. And as you watch, there's a human, a dwarf, and of all things, a drow at the end, attending to each of these smelters. The drow has already started moving buckets full of melted iron into a couple of the molds, whereas the human is tending to the bellows and the dwarf is inspecting the quality of the ore going into each of these smelting hoppers. And Clarence steps aside and goes, "These are the 3 that help me out. It's not much, but we get the job done."
Interesting. Nice to meet you all.
They just give you a nod and get back to work. They're not really in the mood for conversation at the time.
Fair enough. Valkyrin just kind of looks around the area. I'd like to do a perception check just to see if there's anything I notice.
If I was doing investigation, I got 18.
Okay. We'll go with Nils first. So through your investigation, you do notice that in the back, where most of the goods are stored, there are 2 doors. There's one door leading into the actual area, and there's a second door leading out of it. Since you don't have like a building plan, you don't know where that second door leads to, but what you can tell from both your experience as a thief as well as the multitude of locks that you have picked, someone did in fact pick their way through this lock. Like you've examined the lock itself, because the door is currently swung wide open and leads out into the back alley. But after inspecting the lock on the door, you see that there are the telltale scratches where somebody was, they missed the mark with their thieves' lock-picking tools and then finally managed to get it into the actual lock itself. So,
Lock picking.
Pretty much. Like the difference between lock-picking marks and key marks is the key marks are a bit deeper and wider, whereas the lock-picking marks are a bit more thin.
Like surface level scratches.
Exactly. Appear to be surface scratches. So you can definitely tell that somebody picked a lock on this.
Okay.
And there are no goods stored in here, considering that it was just picked open just last night.
Great. So she shares this, and she very unceremoniously approaches the dwarf and just says, "You think it's an inside job? Somebody in your artisans guild. Do you know anyone who's good at picking locks?"
Hey, what's that, Sonny? No, wait, no, you're not a Sonny. You're a lady. What's that, lady? I'm sorry. My eyesight's going a little. I usually mostly inspect the ore with my fingers these days. You can always tell when one of them's got a good grit to them for making for some good quality metal.
Nil just kind of studies them and backs up just a little.
Which one was that?
That was a dwarf.
Oh,
He's
goodness.
inspecting the ores.
She shares again with him, like, "Do you know anyone that in the guild that might be interested, or good at picking locks? Because your locks were most definitely picked last night."
Eh? What's that?
Oh dear God, dwarves. Nil speaks up louder and shares it one more time. "Someone picked your lock. Do you know
Someone
anyone?"
picked my frock? I don't wear a frock. What do I look like, a smelter? No, I just inspect the ore.
Nil gives up and goes to the drow.
What languages do you speak?
Common, Elvish, and Thieves can.
Okay. The drow nods at you and then starts speaking to you in Elvish and goes, "Good to see another sister of the night. What can I help you with?"
And she relays, he thinks that it's an inside job, but do you know of any artisans that would be good at picking a lock? That's not usually an
Artisans?
art
No,
form."
not necessarily. But I do find it curious that the lock was picked. Then again, I'm not surprised, because it is it's mostly thieves that pick the locks anyway, but the timing and the fact that we had 50 swords ready to go on commission order just waiting to be stolen is a little conspicuous, if you ask me.
Do you think this is more about making Clarence look bad, and that Nil looks back to Clarence and just huffs and says, Not that I imagine it would be hard. Or do you think it was more about getting the sword?
At this point, I think it's more about getting the swords, but quite honestly, the fact that we had a guild commission handed to us and we failed to produce the proper amount of required product does point more towards making Clarence look bad, but it's anyone's guess at this point.
You don't know of anyone who might have picked the lock? Or that you suspect?
Not necessarily, no. And he looks over your shoulder and leans in closer and goes, "You didn't hear this from me, but it's not the dwarf for sure. That man is older than I am, but he is near blindness, and so it cannot possibly be him. I would ask the human."
Well, thank you for sharing. You know, I had a good feeling I'd get decent information from a drow. I can't tell you how frustrating today has been with all of these bloody dwarves all over the city. Impossible to get anything done.
The drow snickers at this and goes, "Well, trust me, you're among like-minded company."
I feel for you that you even have to work amongst them.
Well, a living is a living, no matter how much you make in terms of your gold. And
No.
quite honestly, I need to make money.
Mill shakes her head and glares at the dwarves. Bloody dwarves.
Bloody dwarves. I wish you a good night.
You too. Thank you for your information.
Drow nods and goes back to pouring more iron into the molds.
What is the human doing? The human is just kind of busy at work.
Yeah, they're just tending to the bellows, making sure that enough fire is being lit and that enough heat is getting into the actual smelting chamber so that it, melts the ore on, they're basically making sure the heat ratio is good and everything.
So Mill kind of stands by the human for a moment and watches and says, without any warning, just says, "Do you know anyone that likes to pick locks?"
Ah! What? Oh, God, you scared the shit out of me. What's that about picking locks?
Do you know anyone that might like picking locks?
Well, thieves pick locks.
Well, obviously.
Yeah.
Do you know of anyone who might have picked this lock?
Not off the top of my head, no. Is there some reason why you're asking me these questions?
I'm asking everyone these questions.
Uh-huh.
I asked the dwarf these questions quite loudly.
Roll me a
Can I
persuasion
do an
check,
insight
please.
on him too to see if he's jumpy for a reason other than the?
And I was
By all
going to
means.
ask, can I also do an insight? Where did my dice go?
Sure.
Oh, 16 persuasion. Where's my persuasion? Okay, so that's an 18 on persuasion.
Okay, he is convinced that you have been asking the same questions, both the dwarf and the drow.
My insight was only a 10, unfortunately.
As far as you can tell, he's pretty convincing that, he's just here to
Yeah.
work.
My insight's only a 12.
Yeah, nothing for you either.
And my roll from earlier when I was just looking about was a 15. If
Okay.
that helps at all.
This was a perception?
Yes.
Okay. From what you notice, aside from these smelting chambers that are currently in use, there are 3 more that are currently dark, right next to them.
Interesting. I turn to Clarence and ask, did you used to have more employees?
I used to before this debacle, and then all of a sudden 3 of my bestest decided they weren't going to come into work today.
Ooh.
Something about fearing for their safety.
Fearing for their safety, or maybe they made their way off with what they were here for. How long were they working for you?
No, these have been my oldest hands that I've had working for me. One of them has actually been with me the longest for 5 years. The other 2, 3, and 4 respectively. Haven't had any problems with them.
Are you guys speaking in Dwarvish or Common right now?
Common.
Common.
Common, okay.
Yeah.
This guy's a human, right?
Yes, Clarence is a human.
Cool.
And as far as I know, they've been pretty straight and narrow, but all of a sudden, To have all three of them just up and leave on me, or at least not come in today, is a little concerning.
Do they all know each other well?
Not really, aside from work.
When the drow said that he suspects the human, did he mean Clarence?
Roll an insight check.
13.
It is for sure not Clarence.
Okay, because there was another human working on the line, right?
Yeah,
I just want to make sure.
Clarence
Okay.
in the room.
Yeah.
Clarence is one of them, and the other guy, the one that's tending the bellows, is the other.
Jumping. Neil just kind of still is watching him while they talk,
Okay.
but listening,
Okay.
but watching the human.
Give me a perception check. 18. Okay, you notice as you're talking, as Falcon is conversing with Clarence, that the human occasionally is looking towards you guys. He's doing it in a way that doesn't really, it's not very obvious that he's just like, turning and looking and everything. But every so often, while he's tending to the bellows, he'll make it look like he's, checking something. But at the same time, he's also, throwing an eye your way.
Okay. Nill's going to do the same. She's going to continue to listen to Falcon and Clarence, but keep an eye on the human.
Okay.
So, if you don't mind my asking, how much did this put you back?
I'll be honest, this put me back a good solid 300 gold pieces.
300, eh?
Yeah.
And not that I think you would know this for sure, but do you have maybe an idea for how much these would go on the black market?
On the black market,
I don't know much about black
say off
markets.
the top of my head per se, but I would say, let's see, he starts calculating things and he pinches his nose every so often, squints his eyes, and goes, I'd say on the black market they could possibly go for maybe 70 apiece.
Interesting. Do you know anything about the Ironbeards in the area? Any known members of it?
Not really, no. I mean, they keep to themselves mostly outside of just blatantly attacking and stealing from people. Although I have heard rumors about their leader.
Rumors have to start somewhere. I'd love to hear them.
Their leader is supposedly a Tabaxi assassin named Vith the Cunning. No one really has seen Vith. They just know of him. But then again, like I said, these are just rumors. I don't know where they come from. Mostly probably people just speculating or coming up with random names. But your guess is as good as mine if it's actually true or not. But that is what I have heard, that it is led by a Tabaxi assassin.
Very interesting.
Would that name mean anything to me?
Roll me a history check.
Oh, so 16.
16. All right. Here is what you know. Vith is actually known to you because he used to be part of the Darmok Thieves Guild.
Oh, that. No wonder he's such an asshole.
But this was all before he was banished for killing on the job. Now, one of the tenets of the Thieves Guild is you are never to kill, nor are you to take any job or contract that requires you to kill as part of fulfillment of the terms. So for Vith to have killed while on the job, he had better have had a good reason for doing so. But whatever that reason was, it was not enough to satisfy the guild head at that time, and they banished him from the city and from the guild order in general.
Kill on your own time.
About how long ago would this have been?
This has about been the same time you were within the Darmok Thieves Guild.
Well, she was in the.
I forget how many years back you said that she was part of it, but
She was part of the Revia Thieves Guild, but she had a fight with the Darmok Thieves Guild.
yes. Okay, my mistake.
And I think she's been out of it for like 20 years.
Okay, so yeah, roughly before that time, you would have known that he was a member of Darmok's Thieves Guild, because all Thieves Guilds within the Human Alliance know of members in it. These prominent members, or these, skilled members within the guild itself.
Okay. This is somebody Nil would be fairly well acquainted with.
Well, not acquainted. She would know of them.
She would know of him. Okay.
Yes, she would know of them.
Nil just kind of huffs and puts her hand on her throwing knife holster and tenses, but says nothing.
Okay. Anything else from anyone?
Are you done talking to Clarence?
I think I might be... I'm trying to think if there's anything else I should ask. The other ones who work with you now, have they been with you very long?
Let's see. Dormo over there, he points to the dwarf, has been with me about the same time as one of my other employees. He's been with me about roughly 4.5 years. Cathan, he points to the drow. Cathan joined my service about a year ago. He's actually pretty good at smithing and making sure the proper amount of ore gets melted, as well as pouring out the proper amount of slag to keep the metal refined. And then Jonas over here, he points to the human. Jonas actually entered my service roughly about 7 months ago. He's actually pretty good at tending the bellows, to be honest, for a junior smithy.
It's good to find help that could do that.
Oh, yes. Is there anything else I can help you with?
No, I don't want to take up much more of your time. I do appreciate it.
Yeah, he nods at this and goes, well, if that's it, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to leave. I do need to get back to restoring the amount of swords stolen from me for this commission.
Understandable. Well, thank you for your time. I hope may Morden bless your forge.
Why, thank you. Hopefully, with his grace, we can speed this up and produce quality product within time.
Aye.
Wait, I'm sending you a message, Kyle.
Okay. All right. Okay, 18 for investigation. What were you trying to investigate again?
Oh, you already answered the question. That was from when we first went in there. But I'm sending you something else.
Gotcha.
Okay. And she does that in stealth, so just let me know what I need to roll. Either stealth or sleight of hand.
Okay. Well, Drow gets this note, takes a look at it, and then very carefully nods so that only you can see it.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay.
Nil just kind of very stealthily nods back and is good to go.
All right. All right. I take it you guys are going to exit the forge now?
Yeah.
Aye.
Okay. As you exit, you notice that Akima has struck up a conversation with a particularly striking young woman. This woman has golden brown skin, jet black hair that reaches about mid-length of her back that she keeps it braided and draped around one shoulder. She's dressed in a shawl that seems to drape down from one shoulder, leaving the other bare, revealing the breastplate underneath. But the breastplate's not a true breastplate where it goes fully down. It actually feels like it's more meant to be a half breastplate. The rest of her skin on her upper torso is bare. She wears flowing pants, the same color of the draping cloth. Essentially, she's wearing a sari of sorts in gold and yellow fabric. And she wears greaves on her boots, but her boots are open-toed. And she has what appears to be a battle axe strapped to her back. And the two of them are just, conversing intently, apparently. And she looks up at you all and goes, "Oh, I see your friends have finished from back. I do apologize. I was taken aback by the bagpipe performance from the street earlier, and I wanted to get to know your friend a little bit better. I do apologize.
Oh, no, that's fine.
Akima's welcome to make all the friends she wants to make.
I've seen that. Yes, I do apologize. Where are my manners? My name is Avantika. I'm a traveling, I guess you could say a traveling bounty hunter of sorts. But I do have an appreciation for music.
That's good.
A traveling bounty hunter, and you just really share this information with us?
Well, I am a big believer of honesty amongst friends, whether those friends be known or unknown to you.
It's a very interesting way to live
How
your
many
life.
bounties on your head, Neil?
I don't think I have any bounties on her head, no. Avantika reaches into a pouch that's been clipped to her side and starts...
It's okay. You don't have to check. It's okay. You don't have to check.
She pulls out a very long scroll and examines it, runs a finger down and goes, no, I'm not seeing anything here.
Oh, very good. Good to
I don't know
know.
whether I should be relieved or a little bit offended.
Excuse me?
I mean, just... That kind of sucks. Nobody wants a bounty on my head. I've not done anything remarkable enough to have somebody want to come kill me.
I would
That's
say
fine.
that.
That's a good thing. A good
Yeah.
thing. Right. Just... It would be nice to be... appreciated.
That's one way of putting it.
Well,
As a threat.
I believe I've taken up enough of your time. Thank you, Akima, for the conversation. She reaches over and pats her cheek lightly and causes Akima to blush. I do wish you all a very good day, and she walks off.
What direction is she walking in?
She is walking towards the basin. So she's walking away from the Gilded Quarter and the basin. She's walking away from the junction of the basin and the Gilded Quarter that you guys are in. She's more walking towards the docks.
Making friends, are we, Akima?
What? I'll be honest. She just ambushed me out of nowhere.
You need to go after her.
No. What is that supposed to mean?
Your face is a little bit red there, Akima.
Well, yeah, I don't really exactly appreciate it when somebody gets a little too familiar with me when I've just met them.
A lot of women seem to be very comfortable getting familiar with you, though.
Here we
I
go
think it's the
again.
music.
You get your face mashed into one pirate's breasts for one morning, and all of a sudden, everyone wants to think you've got the hots for
Bounty
women.
hunter, caress your face.
I mean, she is right. You
I'm
do
just
have
saying,
the run-ins
if
with
you
quite a few women.
if you were to share a drink with a woman, a bounty hunter might be a useful one to share a drink with.
Well, I'm sure she's got a lot of secrets she could reveal to us, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Go get all her secrets there, Akima. I'm sure you'd like to see them.
No.
Well, that
What do you guys find
being
out?
said, we found out that Clarence doesn't know who it is, but he did have 3 employees who didn't show up today.
Uh-huh.
On top of that, he also... I mean, he really didn't have all that much information. He told me that he'd been keeping it a secret, so there is a suspicion that it's very likely an inside job for them to have known that he'd have all those sorts.
I think it was a very inside job. You see that sketchy side of human Jonah?
Yeah, he did tell me that Jonas had only been working with him for 7 months.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think it would be strange, though, if you were part of the orchestration of such a big heist, so to speak, that you would be one among those who showed up to work the next day. Unless he was trying to avoid suspicion. But with the way Ironbeards are, what harm could there be in some suspicion? It's not like they're ever found.
Well, we're only assuming it's the Ironbeards.
That's true. We don't know for sure.
And the best way to throw off suspicion is to not act suspicious.
But in a
If you
way
just
that
wake
makes
up-
it a bit more suspicious.
You just woke up and go to work. I mean, that's a pretty ballsy move to help steal from your employer and then go to work the next day as if nothing happened.
I mean, if I was going to be an inside man, that's what I would do.
Hi.
He's just a little he's a little jumpy.
He did seem a wee bit scared while we were there.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of humans are jumpy around Drow, but he works right next to a Drow all day.
Well, I'm not jumping around to you. What's that supposed to mean?
I've said a lot, not all.
Yeah.
I have a feeling you've seen and done a lot. Too much for Drow.
I mean, and she starts to get that air of embarrassment of like, oh, stop.
I don't think a Drow would really scare you, Akima. You've gone to much more terrifying caverns.
What's that supposed to mean?
She holds her hands out in front of her.
Big tracts of land.
Seriously, I'm pretty sure. I don't think Jonas seemed smart enough to do it all on his own, but I think someone has placed him there.
I would think the same thing too.
I don't think that's too far a reach. And it would definitely take more than just one person. You don't just, pop off with 50 swords in your arms.
True. Well, knowing all this, what do you guys want to do next? I mean, we do still have to break into the mansion tonight.
Why do we have to break into a mansion?
I thought we wanted to get that fancy armor that they took.
I just don't like breaking and entering into things.
Oh, I mean, it's not really breaking and entering.
Yeah.
Because we've already linked them to, an evil cult, right? So they're holding on to it. So
isn't it okay to do the bad thing for the right reason?
Technically speaking, we're liberating it from them. So,
Exactly.
And but what are we going to do with it once we have it?
You stick it in a bag of holding and bring it back to the lady Stickerbrass.
Do we really know that would be that much better?
No, I don't think so. She's I think she has her own agenda as far as that armor is concerned. She only mentioned the Corva bit when we mentioned that to her.
We could, conversely, and before I say this, I'm going to roll perception to see if I see anybody watching us.
Okay.
Is the person from the Thieves Guild hanging with us at this moment?
She did mention that.
She's going with us tonight, right?
Tonight, yes.
Okay, she'll meet us there. Dope.
I got, and I'll wait for plus 1 perception. So 13 on perception.
Okay, I'll get that one to you. All right, so from what you can see, you do notice that the street is a market-filled street. There are stalls of people selling things. There's one with odd trinkets, another selling fresh fruit, that sort of thing. By one of the stalls where there's a bunch of odd trinkets and crystals and weird sorts of magical curios, you do notice a tiefling, a female one. Short, black hair that sometimes sparkles auburn when the sun hits it. She's wearing simple traveling clothes, a white short-sleeve shirt, blue vest with pockets on it, vials clipped to said pockets, belt with a pouch to the side, fine traveling boots with a bunch of mud stains on them, and her hands are currently wearing a pair of gauntlets that have the fingers exposed. And she's just inspecting things, but every so often, because you can tell because her horns go back, in a sense, she angles her head in your direction, specifically in Falkland's direction.
Bill studies them and leans in very closely to Falkland and says, I think you're being watched by somebody. And she motions with her eyes towards the tiefling.
Okay.
Can I sneak a glance of this tiefling without being too obvious?
Sure.
Do I recognize them?
No.
I don't think I like that.
What is, what kind of stall is she at right now? Just kind of pretending to look at things.
Well, it's not so much pretending that she's dividing her attention between inspecting things and looking over at Falkrin, but she's currently at a stall where a gnome apparently is going over oh, there's this crystal here that, has this magic property, that sort of thing, or you can have this fancy little clock, and he picks up a little clock with gears sticking out of it. that is ticking away time, that sort of thing.
Falkrin looks up at Nil and Rashida and asks, do you think I should just go talk to them if they're wanting to eye me like that?
No.
I think we should kind of
Feign ignorance.
meander our way over there, kind of look
Make
at
our way
the
over.
there and see what she does when we get closer to her.
We can walk close, see what she does about it, and then I could just go up to her. Okay, she doesn't look scary.
Well, she's got a lot of stuff hanging off of her. And I've been in enough fights to know to never trust a vial of unknown liquid.
The more stuff to hang, the more stuff to pop.
More stuff to what? Yeah. So
The more stuff to hang, the more stuff to pop.
yeah. I say we approach cautiously and see what she does.
Aye. Falkrin just turns and starts walking to whatever, I'd say about 3 tents or
3 stalls away.
displays down from her, yeah.
Okay. She doesn't
Falkrin
change her
feigns
attitude any.
interest.
She's still inspecting things.
Okay. From there, I don't know. I think Falkrin would kind of pause for a minute, and if the tiefling's still there, look over and can I do an investigation check?
Sure. What would you be looking for?
Just to see, I guess an insight check, just to see if I can sense any sort of malice or ill will coming from her.
Okay.
14 and insight is wisdom.
Are you doing detect evil or something?
I don't have a spell for detect evil.
Okay.
But I'll do, it's 17 on insight.
17 on insight. Okay, so she's not really giving off a malicious vibe. She just looks scary because obviously devil person.
Fair. So with that, Falkrin's gonna, walk over to that stall and act interested in whatever's being sold, in the crystals.
Okay, the gnome looks up and goes, another customer. What can I do for you today?
Well, just looking around.
Really?
Yeah.
How about a crystal? And he picks up a chunk of fine-looking crystal and hands it to you. Would you like to take a look here and see if this might interest you?
I must say, I know not about crystals.
Tiefling utters a chuckle.
Falkrin takes that opportunity to turn to her and be like, oh, you know a thing or two about crystals, do you?
Do Warforged run off of coal?
I believe they do.
No, they don't run off of coal. What are you, a moron?
No.
And as she turns around, you finally see that the last piece of what makes her scary is that her corneas are completely black, and she has glowing orange irises that have a touch of green to them.
Falkrin stares her dead in the eye and says, didn't think I was a moron, but apparently there's plenty for me to learn here.
Oh, believe me, you're not the first moron to have, said something like that about Warforged running off of coal. What do you want?
I don't know. I was just here looking at crystals. What do you want?
I'm looking for components. And she goes back to examining everything.
No? Any chance you keep, I don't know, peeking over in my direction for any particular reason?
Yeah, I'm interested in that weapon you've got there.
Aye?
Mind if I take a look at it?
I suppose not.
Okay. Which weapon do you currently have belted to your side or whatever?
I have my my warhammer.
You have your warhammer. Okay. She takes it and examines
Runs
it.
off with it.
I know, Falkrin's ready to jump. Smite her with Morden's power.
Morgan smites thee.
Okay, I'm just looking at stuff right now. All right. Right, it's probably under that. It is not under that. Where is it? Where did I put them? Okay, there we go. She examines it, holds it up to the light, and goes, I could actually improve upon this if you're interested.
In what manner?
Oh, just something funny, if you don't mind my use of the word.
I don't think I like the idea of funny touching my warhammer. I've got a mace.
Okay, she hands the warhammer back to you. Can you mind if I see the mace?
By all means.
Okay, she takes the mace, holds it up. Give me 1 sec. I need to take a look at this character sheet.
As she's looking at my weapons, I have a firm grasp on the warhammer, just in case this goes sideways.
I got you.
Nil is watching from the shadows, trying to conceal herself, just in case Fokker needs some backup. You seem like a pretty sturdy dwarf who doesn't necessarily need Nil's help.
Pretty
Not
sturdy.
that she'll ever tell you that.
All right, where the hell are the infusions? Is there spells? There's that.
I just want Rashida to make a blade out of her
Oh my
pamphlet.
god. Just gives you a
Okay.
paper
Death
cut.
by a thousand
Oh,
cuts,
right.
baby.
Okay, stand back, she says, as she holds the mace. You take it back?
Yes, Falcon.
All right. She mutters a couple words under her breath, and every so often you catch a snatch of Dwarven. And then something that sounds a little bit more ancient and guttural. Doesn't sound anything like Dwarven at all.
Okay.
All right, where did I put it? Where did I put it? Sir. I just need to look up the stats for this thing.
You're gonna have infernal, unholy
That would
weapons.
be hilarious.
No.
It does necrotic damage.
What language is this Falcon speak?
You.
It now captures the souls of everyone you smite.
No! Falcon accidentally becomes a
I
necromancer.
feel like Falkrin, knowing that she had receiver weapon right this, like, no matter the fact that she made it, would just toss it into the ocean.
Like the hammer throw, like what they do.
Yeah.
All right. She finishes speaking. As this happens, the mace starts to glow purple, then orange, then blue, and then finally settles on green before the color dissipates. And she hands the mace back to you. Throw it.
At what?
Just throw it.
Throw it at her face!
Valkyrin turns and tries to find an area that it does not have people
Okay.
for about a good 20 yards at least.
Okay.
And kind of chucks it, not as hard as she possibly could, but hard enough that it'll, spin a few times in the air.
Okay. So Falcon throws her mace. It goes spinning end over end over end, and just when it looks like it's about to start doing its downward spiral, it stops in midair. The handle, which was pointed away from Falcon, rotates and then points back towards her, and then the mace zips right back to her and lands right in her hand.
I have a Mjolnir mace.
Yes.
That could have happened to you.
The tiefling is scratching her chin going, okay, I thought that wouldn't work for a second there.
That's
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
As long as I'm alive, that thing can now return to you after you throw it at something.
Oh,
I hope you live for a very long time.
What?
That's so cool. I hope you live for a very long time.
Well, I mean, I'm a tiefling, and we live about the same as a human. Ugh.
Oh, that's a shame.
Someone roll me a perception check.
9.
I
Nine,
rolled a
okay.
16. 17, sorry.
Who rolled a Who got the 9?
Mommy.
Okay. So Tina got the 17?
Yeah, I got a 17, but I think Pam did too.
Okay.
I also did.
And that's cocked. And Kima also sees it. You've noticed that this entire time there is an iguana perched on her shoulder. And it's just staring at everything. It just bobs its head, tilts its head as it throws the bait, tilts it back, and then pokes the tiefling in the cheek several times. Goes, oh, fine. Reaches into a pocket, pulls out a little snack, gives it to the iguana, and the iguana scarfs it down. It just looks at everyone again.
Falkrin looks back at the tiefling and is like, "Who? Thank you for this. And who are you? And why? And do I have to pay?"
No, you don't really have to pay me anything. I was just curious because, well, you're just parading about in your priestly garments, like, you know, you're heaven sent or something. Is that what that has? Is that how they refer to it in this reality? She turns to the gnome. What do you refer to your pantheon as here? And he's like, what? It's a grand? It's like, oh, great. I'm in that type of reality. Okay, never mind.
You
Do we
travel
catch
through
the
realities.
In a sense of the word, yes.
Are you trying to imply that there are infinite universes?
That's me as the DM, and that's not her. And she just gives you a look and goes, what do you mean?
I don't know what came over me just there. I think it was the alcohol I consumed earlier. No,
Alcohol is bad for you. It deadens the brain. Don't drink it. Trust me.
Nil steps forward. Excuse you.
Falkrin
Looks
is
at
like,
you. Drow, tall, scent of alcohol on you, heavy drinker. Let's see. Life, stocky, probably kills for a living. Interesting.
Not kill for a living. Excuse you. That's incorrect. Everything else I'll accept. I don't kill for a living. I kill for the entertainment of it. Also, it's
really?
pretty good money. It's pretty good money, but I mean,
Well, yeah.
life is boredom. How else are you going to fill the days?
Murdering things. And by things,
exactly.
I mean just incessant creatures that come up to your doorstep wanting handouts. Bugs, small cats that, you know, have gone feral and just want to kill your pet cats.
I don't think I've ever killed a cat.
I love shooting fire at humans. They like to dance and scream in pain and something like that. I don't kill them, of course, but it's still fun to watch them duck and run for
Rashida
cover.
is going to stay as
I
far
think
away
I
from that
like you,
person
and I
as
don't say that
possible.
very often.
Really? And the tiefling just looks back at Nell and goes, I kind of like you. We both have a disdain for humans, it seems.
I mean, it's fun to make the humans dance.
It is.
They're very easy, though. They're very easy. If it comes to killing, they're not my favourite target, because it's just me.
Oh, no, I'm sure.
not a
Sometimes
challenge.
they fight back.
If you're going to be an assassin, you need a challenge, or you're never going to get better and perfect your craft.
Uh-huh.
what?
And a human's just not a challenge.
Oh, speaking of challenges, and as you watch her hand, like, actually what you notice now up close is that this vest isn't really just a vest, but it's more like one that goes down well below her belt line, and as she turns, the vest flies free, and you see a weapon that has been holstered at her side. It's rather large and ungainly looking, and it has like a wooden blocky handle to it, and it tapers off into a metal tube of sorts. And she picks up the... No, it's not a portal gun. And she picks up the crystals and examines them. How much for these? And the gnome, suddenly shaken out of his dazed stupor, goes, that'll be 200 apiece. And he goes, 200. Okay, here you go. She hands him 20 platinum. There you go. That should cover it in this reality, right? Reality? Yes, it should cover it here. Yes, I guess. What are you? Don't worry about it. You wouldn't be able to understand anyway. She tucks the...
Doctor.
I keep saying reality.
Yes, reality.
Is she buying giant seeds?
I'm just looking for a phone booth around here.
She
One of you is
reaches
sitting
over
way
to
up there.
Wow.
and stuffs the crystals inside, and there's a slight popping noise as they disappear.
He just
Just shove them.
way up there.
Have a space! All right. Well, that's my business concluded here. Let's see. And she looks
The
at
mega
all of
seeds.
you. Looks at Akima, snickers. Looks at Rashida, snickers again. Looks at both Nil and Falkland and goes, "You know what? Hang on a sec." She reaches into a pocket here and she hands you a card.
Falcon takes it.
If you ever find yourself in Everwood and want to have a lively conversation away from idiots and morons, come find me.
Oh, I will. Can we make human stamps together?
What?
Can we make the human stamps with your fire? I want to see how you do that.
Oh, 1 second. She looks around, sees a human, points at him, snaps her fingers, and a firebolt launches and hits the ground right at his feet. He's like, he's patting the flames away from his boots and goes, "Who did that?" He looks around, and he goes, "Demon!"
Nil erupts in laughter.
I'd like to imagine that when you said, "Can we make humans dance together?" Falcon was picturing the two of you like setting up couples to dance with one another.
Go hide.
Neil just points at the tiefling and she's like, "I like you. I don't say that very often, but you're a quality creature."
Oh, and well, you're smarter than most. I like you too.
I'm so thankful that somebody finally sees that. Imagine how smart I'd be if I didn't drink so much.
Yes. Your brain wouldn't be as dead, I'm assuming. No,
Oh,
don't answer
yeah.
that. Don't even speculate. You'll hurt yourself.
What?
Trust me.
What does the card say? Does it have their name and whatnot?
It has one name on it.
One name.
A
Yes.
name.
What is
The
the
name.
name?
The name is Callista, and on the back it says Tower of Everwood.
It's your. Oh, that's
Yes.
awesome.
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes. And
When
as you look
so
up,
fond of
as you look up,
fireballs.
he has disappeared. But somebody roll me a perception check.
I've got a 16.
Okay.
I got a 10.
I got less
Okay.
than that.
Oof. And Kima rolled a 3. All right. The only one that notices this is Falcon, and she sees the tiefling's tail follow her into an alleyway, and after a short while, there's a flash of blue coming from the alleyway. And roll me an Arcana check.
An Arcana is based off of...
7.
I think it'd be
Okay, I got a 19.
Okay. You recognize that as a teleportation spell.
Ooh.
So she pretty much just bamfed out of the city.
That's awesome.
She just popped out. She was eyeing my axe so that she could make it better. Wow.
I liked her. She was fun.
I don't think I much liked the last person who accused me of being a moron, but after talking to her, perhaps I am one.
She was chaotic. It's been a while since I've met anyone who's genuinely chaotic.
That's true. Chaotic
I
is
mean-
a word to use.
I mean, you guys are all right, I guess, but you've got your pamphlets and your religion and your rules and your laws.
I have no desire to be chaotic. I take no offense to that statement.
It's just nice to be around somebody who doesn't,
Make their bed in the morning. I don't know what sort of tomfoolery you get up to.
I don't think she makes a bed in the morning.
No.
I'm probably not sleeping in her own bed at night.
Okay, as this transpires, you notice that there is a hush that has fallen over the marketplace, similar to the one that happened right outside the fleet drafting house. And as everyone looks up, someone roll me a perception check.
Oh, crap.
Nat 1, baby.
Well, I did slightly better than that, but it's only a 10.
I also got
What is wrong with that?
the Nalu dice are not with me tonight either. I got a 10.
Oh my god.
Okay, give me 1 sec. I just need to pull up her information to see what hers is. Well, she got a 10 as well, but you know what? Screw it. This is for storytelling. So what you all see is another dragon, but this one is different. This one is very different. Whereas the red dragon had very distinct separated wings, this one's wings, while very distinct and large, appear to taper towards the end of its tail. And as the setting sun starts to catch it on its scales, it gives off a very golden hue. So, for those of screw it. You all, from what everyone has read in their various travels and their various learnings, looking at information and reading in the library, this is a gold dragon. Not a whole lot of people around you notice this. In fact, some are doing the same reaction that they had when the red dragon appeared, but others, you see a sort of recognition in their eyes, and they sort of breathe a sigh of relief that even though this is not a red dragon and this is still a dragon, this is at least one that won't come, barreling down and torching the entire city just to steal the gold. So there is a mixed peace that has fallen among the people right now.
Yeah, that is the second dragon that I've
So it's
seen
not
today.
a Trogdor?
It's not a Trogdor. Nor is it Smaug down from Erebor. Jesus.
Smaugdor.
Smaugdor, oh my gosh.
And that is game.
Cool.
Nice.
That was a good game.
So
Yes.
investigative.
Yes. I liked all the investigating. Questioning.
Rolling.
To be a good thief, you have to be a good
Yeah.
cop, too.
I totally respect, Tina, how much you're able to commit to Rashida being quiet. There's so many moments I'm like, Rashida's here too.
Yeah.
I mean, you commit so much to Rashida being
Nothing.
and I feel like as a DM, you're probably like, but you play Rashida so hard.
You're clinging to who's
You're
here.
probably
so
the
good.
easiest character to play right now. Just be quiet. Don't interact with anyone.
While Falcon and Nil fight, things will be done.
Right.
She's just like, go with the flow.
I love
Let
that.
it happen.
I'm appreciating as well Falcon and Nils quasi-friendliness. I really feel like they fit the definition of frenemies.
They are
I don't know.
definitely frenemies. They're I feel
They've
like
been stuck together, and there's some respect somewhere in there, but they're just so different.
I just feel like
Yeah.
it's gonna eventually be like this Legolas Gimli kind of emotional relationship.
That'd be awesome.
I see that. I feel like they're like Rosa and Amy on Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yes.
Oh, I have to find that.
Falcon is a hard Amy.
Dang, now I have to watch it.
Very by the book and super into rules and very organized and does everything the right way.
Nice. Yeah, that's Falcon.
I'm excited to see Falcon get into some trouble.
I had a vision the other day of how I would like her to end up, and I'm hoping that her worldview gets shattered one way or another.
Oh,
I think that's already begun.
It's starting.
She sat on the docks when we first got into town and was just like, oh,
Why am I here?
so bad people.
And I love that the mystery is I don't know, that it's a mystery. I don't know what
Yeah.
we're going to find.
I genuinely enjoy some good investigation.
Yeah, this is fun.
mm-hmm.
It's good.
It's
It's
good.
good.
It's
Yes,
cute.
well, I have everything ready for session 3 when you guys are. This is why I do still need Pam's character sheet, I believe.
Oh, yes,
I
I'm
sent it to you today.
right now. I'm going to send you a screenshot.
Let me see.
But yeah, I didn't send it to you until today, but I did send it. But if you need me to resend it, I can.
Unless,
My
Maybe
phone.
it didn't go through.
maybe
Yeah, I
not.
thought I sent mine too.
I have so far I have Tina's.
Let me.
I thought I sent mine last night. I don't know where I sent mine.
I think mine may have come through too big. I'm trying to compress it now.
Mine's handwritten, so I'll scan it and I'll email it to you at work on Monday.
Okay.
If that works.
I used a weird sheet for her too, so if you would prefer it, like I can go get a PDF of like the OG D&D sheet.
Please do. I think I've seen it and it's on paper, but it's like notebook paper.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I will redo this, but that's got some of the information if you need that right away.
Okay.
My phone is totally full. And I thought I took a picture of it when I was at Tina's last week, but I must have accidentally deleted it. And then last night I was in a stupor of exhaustion, so I don't really know what I did. I was just playing my character. I'll bring it to work and just scan and email it because that'll probably be better quality anyway.
In terms of scheduling games, we're planning on our next one is on the 26th for Tina's.
Yeah.
For this one, do we have an idea when we'd like to schedule it, or are we gonna wait a little bit before planning that?
Let's see.
I think I'm good. October 3rd.
Okay,
I'm
we
down
could do
for
that.
Yeah,
work for
October 3rd
anybody?
would be fine, yeah.
Sweet. Yes, that works for me.
Yay.
Okay.
Aim for like
October 3rd.
It'll be
7 p.m.?
October's.
Yay!
Yeah, I'm good for 7.
Okay. Hopefully I don't have a jam-packed day that day
Hopefully not.
because it is a Saturday.
Oh, is that usually a super busy day?
Nah, not really. I mean, tomorrow is pretty light, but like just today, everyone wanted an iPhone fixed. I had nothing but iPhones, but those are the easier ones out of Samsung phones.
I mean, I guess at least they're easy to fix.
Oh, they're unbelievably easy to fix. You just pop the old side out, put the new one on, calibrate, and you're done.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice. It's weird that it's all iPhones.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, in terms of mechanics, since I know somebody asked, after the next session, you guys will be able to level up to level 4.
God.
Hey-o.
So in October we get to go to level 4. That means we
Yes,
get
we
to
get to go
fight
level 4.
Fighting.
Murder.
No can finally appear.
Murder,
And
stabby stabs. Lightning shots.
Stab all the
Lightning shots
things.
and
Mill
hammer
stab,
whacks.
stab.
I need to study and make sure I know how to fight as a cleric. I'm gonna be like, I would like to rage.
I'm pretty sure Rishida's mostly a meat cushion. Rishida's
What?
mostly just a meat cushion at this point.
No.
That's okay. Mill's a level 3 assassin. So you get advantage on anything you sneak up on.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I wanted to hold off on revealing Khaleesi, but I was like, you know what, fuck it,
Right?
she's here.
I like
so cool.
I like Calista. She's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, when I originally created her, she has a massive chip on her shoulder about humans because they've been giving her shit her entire life for being a tiefling. So she's like, fuck them.
Makes
I
sense
mean,
why she chucked
Bill
out
gets
Rashida.
that.
Because Rashida looks very human.
Yeah. That and she does have a bit of black dragon in her at one point in her past. In her family's bloodline, so to speak. So she does have that inane hatred of humans.
I mean, they're hard to not hate. They're human.